Hello, and welcome to another episode of Manifest Actual Play. With me, as always, are Seth Lilly, Dan Barron, Addie Gia, and before we get into the recap of what has happened so far, Addie, do you have any announcements for us?
Yes. Um,
Go
so
on.
the end. This week we sent out a production update to our backers, letting them know that we have a new expanded quick start guide available to anyone who has pre-ordered or backed Manifest the RPG. And in addition to that expanded quick start guide, we also made available two new pre-generated characters, and then also leveled all of those characters up to level 9, which they were previously at 5. So that's a whole bunch of levels and a whole bunch of playtime available to you if you've pre-ordered or backed us on Kickstarter or BackerKit. If you want to get your hands on uh, this quick start guide and subsequently the book when it comes out, you can search for Manifest the RPG in on BackerKit, and you will find us there. The BackerKit store is open for just a little bit longer. I know we've been saying that for a while, but this time it's true. You're running out of time to uh, to uh, to grab your copy before it hits wide distribution. Um, our second announcement is over the course of the summer, basically for the past 4 months, we've been shouting out uh, to some great organizations and charities that help populations that we feel really uh, what's the word? Really passionate about. That's the word. And so Last week I said I was going to do it quickly and didn't. This week Tommy's going to drop all of those links in the chat. And you can go and check them out. All of these organizations are wonderful, and they deserve your time, energy, platform, or cash if you've got it. In addition, look into your local organizations in your area that may need your help. Um, we're coming up on colder months, and often that means that your food banks and shelters in your local area will be needing warmer clothes like socks and your old sweatshirt that you never wear anymore. So if you have or those that old can of beans in your pantry that you didn't eat, all of that kind of stuff is really super helpful to them. They're strapped for cash, especially in the times of Corona. If you can also spare some time for that, go to your local food bank and see how you can help out today. Um, and lastly, we are here almost every week on Tuesdays at 8 Central. And if you love the content that we're bringing you, and you want to watch it again, you can actually catch us now on YouTube. We are on YouTube as Manifest the RPG, and we have every episode of this campaign up up until episode 37, which is basically caught up to
37 isn't up yet. It will be going up after this episode airs.
right.
37 is still available in the to view on Twitch for a short period longer.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you missed an episode, or you really loved a certain episode, like the Zimbalis episode, like we all did, you can actually go and find that on our YouTube now. Also, if you have the spare time, and cash. You can always support us here on our Twitch channel. All of your support goes directly back into the stream. It's how we got this awesome art from Kate May, which you can see, and it will allow us to get more art or a new overlay or cool effects when people subscribe and things like that. So if you want to enhance your viewing experience, you can always subscribe. And if you're Amazon Prime subscriber, you get one complimentary Twitch Prime subscription to any channel that you like. And if you like us enough to have us be that channel, you can sign up through the subscribe button as well. And the only catch is you've got to resubscribe every 30 days, and then it's free. So you should do that if you like us, which I hope you do because you're here. And
we
that,
like you.
Also, it's still September, so if you're a new sub, it's cheaper.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah, do that. Yeah, and that is all of the announcements. I did it.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right. Well, you mentioned the kick-ass character art, and we just happen to have a little video we like to show before we jump into the episode that highlights all that cool character art. So let's all take a moment to gawk at these characters and transport our minds into the faraway land of Manifest.
A coward.
Hello! And we're back. All right, so what has happened previously? Well, Kinsey, Pax, and Roland. Is that how I always say it? Kinsey, Pax, and Roland have
no one can watch it.
Have been in Tobias Station. They are saloon owners. They've been in Tobias Station for a little over 3 months, I believe. And they have been running a pretty successful saloon in the lower levels of Tobias Station. They've been doing this to kind of get themselves established as civilians in Tobias Station because they have plans to overthrow the corrupt security captain, Captain Morales. Now, they've started to lay some of the groundwork for that. They've started making friends with people. They've started starting to like formulate the plan. They're digging out a secret revolution base underneath their saloon, and they're creating weapons for the imminent revolution. It's it's a plan in progress, but that plan in progress may have gotten a wrench thrown in it as Pax discovered a dead body in the vents nearby the saloon, and when they extracted that body, not child. Their barkeep, Harry, a 16-year-old urchin who they have 10 bar, who they're trying to teach and train to be a better thief, maybe. She recognized this dead body as a man named Ephraim, who was very close to an important member of the Kanoom crime family. The member of the Kanoom family in question was Salem Bahara, who came to their bar to retrieve Ephraim's body and asked these three drifters to work for him in secret to suss out who killed Ephraim. After they accepted that task, for nothing more than the promise of a future favor, they departed with the body. Salem left, and then they went to go back to open up shop. It was, mid-afternoon, maybe early afternoon. So Pax set out to go find their local barfly, to let them know that they're back open. And while she was walking around alone in the lower levels, she realized she was being followed. And when she confronted the person who was following her, she discovered it was someone they knew. It was Marshal Leonard Yen, the same marshal who was in charge of the prison caravan that these three drifters escaped from. The very same marshal who they helped save from the Dead Man's gang. And then the very same marshal who lied about the death of these three drifters so that they could escape to the Badlands to start a new life. That same Marshal Leonard Yen, is returned at Tobias Station with new mechanical arms since he lost his arm in the garden. And we left off right after Pax saw his face. So I'm going to cut away from that to the other two. Kinsey and Roland, what are you up to right now? What are the two you doing? It is like early to mid afternoon. The bar is like kicking back into gear. Pax has been gone for a little under an hour at this point. Just because she was looking around for Eli.
What time of day is it right now?
Like in the afternoon time, like a little bit afternoon.
So I'm probably in the kitchen preparing for the lunch rush. Probably making sandwiches for at least a couple of people that are in the bar. We do have customers, don't we?
Not yet. No. You guys are still opening up. Kinsey, you do find that your stocks are a little low. Remember how every morning before you've gone out foraging for supplies?
Right.
This morning you sat in the bar with your gun pointed at the door in case anything happened, and so you don't quite have the inventory necessary to just like whip something up for pending customers.
Well, if we weren't trying to open up right now, I'd probably go on a hunting trip, but instead I'll go to the general store.
Okay, cool. Just like the one that's down the strip, or are you going to?
Whichever one has, because there's the one that's Alex's. Like, is it more of a grocery? I'm not sure.
Yeah. So there's the grocers that's nearby.
Yes, that's what I want to go.
Okay, cool. So you want to just pop down a couple doors down in this area to go to the grocers and try and get something together?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. And Roland, what about you?
I guess I'm watching the bar, then. If everyone else has left and none of the employees have arrived.
I mean, you guys could have fetched the employees at this point. Like, Harry's not available right now, but like, you were in contact with your other employees, letting them know that you guys were like closed up. So like, they're like on call. They were waiting for you to let them know when to come back. So,
okay.
So like they weren't hard to find. Like I said, PAX has been gone. This is all like basically we at the end of last episode there was like a 30 to 45 minute stint of time that we fast forwarded through. That was PAX searching for Eli in the lower levels. So that's 30 to 45 minutes that you guys could have been doing other things.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have much to get up to just yet. I'm probably just doing bar stuff. Not like bartending, I have people for that, but like, you know, looking at the books or like fixing a thing or like basically doing the stuff that makes me present and people can see that I own this place and also remember that I fixed their fridge that one time and they love me.
Okay, cool. So you are managing the bar. You got Hazel and Eugene in the shop, and you're there too. And Kinsey, you go down the way to the grocers that you guys sometimes get. Oh, go ahead.
Do I know the combination to the safe, or will I have to ask to get some money?
I think you don't. I think you don't know the combination to the safe.
Nobody knows the combination to the safe. I routinely break in and then change it.
I have asked that this not be the case, and my concerns have been ignored.
Is Harry here?
No, Harry is not here.
Great, perfect. I try to break into the safe.
We do have a till, though.
Yeah,
I'll take money from the till, but then I have to record it, and it's just a pain in the ass. All right, I'll take money from
You have to record it if you take it from the safe, also.
I do? Is there a sign-up sheet or something? Or ledger?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought that was only for the till.
No. All of the money for the bar we keep a record of, so I know how much money we have for the bar and other things.
Right. I've been doing that.
You haven't, I know.
I know.
So you grab a few spurs out of the till then.
Yes, I do.
Leave a little receipt that says like Kinsey, I owe you 4 spurs or something.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna write that the bar is has a -4 on it right now for how much money it makes. All right, perfect. So Kinsey, you get the money. You write your little receipt. And you go down to the grocers, and luck would have it, the grocers is closed right now. It's got a little sign that says, running errands, be back this evening. Alex.
Well, all right. I suppose perhaps I can whip something together from the general store. Otherwise, I will have to take longer time going actually hunting with Umbra. Does the grocery does the general store have food that I can make, or is it just like jerky and rations and things like that?
It's mostly just rations and stuff, especially the general store that's this close to the grocers. There might be some stuff though in the main bazaar. There's all sorts of stuff in the main bazaar that you can if you want to go up into the central levels and shop, that's. You got pick of the litter up there.
I don't like being around that many people, but if I have to do it, I have to do it. And I'll put my spurs in the special pocket that Pax has made for me in my jacket.
Cool. Which functionally does not operate as secret pockets, but which means the money still can be stolen. But it is less likely. Yes. All right. So Kinsey, you start heading up towards the central levels. Roland, you're getting the bar set up, sanitizing the table that Ephraim was on, or building a new table.
Oh, no. I've thrown that table into the local dump.
Pax. You're sitting there face to face with Marshal Yen. He has managed to stop your attack long enough to reveal that it was him, and he has your wrists in his hands, your arms crossed in front of you, And he goes, I'm going to let go of your hands now.
Okay.
And he lets go and puts his hands back. And then he goes, you look good.
You too?
Sorry to sneak up on you like that. Kinsey and rolling around?
Why?
I don't mean to drop in unannounced, but I saw your LRC and I didn't think you were in the station. But knowing now that you are, I think you three might be in danger.
You have no idea. Yeah. It's this. They're this way. Yeah.
Look, I never thought I'd see the three of you again. He says, like, as you start like leading them through the lower levels back towards the like sector that is where you guys are, like where Umbra's is. He goes, I didn't think I'd see the three of you again. I figured our arrangement was to keep apart from each other.
Oh no.
What?
Kinsey's gonna be so mad at me.
Why?
Because you're here. Sorry, I was listening. We had a fight, and he's gonna be so mad. It's wonderful.
Look, he should. Y'all need to. Since you left the garden, I've been tracking Sierra Phillips. She's the only member of the Dead Man's Gang.
No.
You're muted, Dan, but I am enjoying watching you scream in silence at your camera.
I know I'm muted, Tommy. I'm muted so I don't interrupt this very good scene, but god damn it. God damn it, Sierra Phillips with her dinky ass bow and arrow. I refuse. She will not be the one who gets me.
I've been tracking Sierra Phillips since the three of you left the garden. She's the only member of the Dead Man's Gang, and like I told you, my deal with them was personal, and so I didn't much like her being at large. I tracked her all the way to here, and well, I didn't know what her business was in Tobias Station, but now that I know you're here, I figured that's not a coincidence.
Okay.
See, it gets worse. Someone got to her before I could find her. The Gatti family. And instead of taking her out, I guess they put her to work. She's got a particular set of skills, I guess.
Yeah.
So
she's perfect for them.
If she's in Tobias Station, if she got here about 4 or 5 days ago, you haven't heard anything, seen anything?
I mean, about Sierra? No. About a lot of other stuff? Yes.
Like what?
A couple of months ago, a guy was killed, and he was associated with the Kanoom family, and we found where they stashed his body, like literally 2 days ago. And we just had a visit from one of them. So, yeah, we found our own trouble.
So you got the Canoons coming after you too?
No, I don't think so. It's more likely. Well, no one knows that we found this body except for this one guy. So, family member. So, he's asked us to look into it. And we haven't done anything yet. But, I mean... yeah.
So you're already mixed up with another family? Oh, this is gonna get even more complicated. We gotta get back to your saloon. You said Roland and Kinsey are both there?
When I left.
All right, let's go. And he kind of like picks up the pace a little bit. Kinsey, you're heading up the stairs. Like I mentioned before in the last episode, the lower levels are having some power issues right now. The lights are pretty dim, and the doors that sometimes don't open as easily are having even more issues. So you get partway up towards the main level. You go to one of the doors. You like press the panel to make it like slide open, and it like only like goes like a crack and then shuts again. Then you like hit the panel again. It does it again. Shuts again. What do you do?
I'm going to take a crowbar out of my survival kit. I'm going to hit the panel again, and I'm going to try and just wrench it open.
Okay. So yeah, you hit the panel. It does its little crack. You get the crowbar in, and you start working on it. And you're like the metal's creaking. It's echoing and loud as you're like trying to like get the door open.
Come on.
And then right as the door pops open, it's like a sweet relief. And then something hits you from behind and slams you to the ground. It is a net of some kind that has grappled you. And I have my dice here. Give me a second. Kinsey, you can take a grit.
Great.
And you are now in a rating 6 grapple. As the net just wraps around you and slams you into the stairwell in front of you, like completely binding you. And like you roll to the side to like, you know, try and like stop your face from breaking against the staircase. And you see approaching you in a poncho that has a hood, pulling it back, the poncho changing color to like look more like a normal poncho pattern instead of the like dark dingy walls of the lower levels. This photoreplicant poncho like kind of like curling back into like normal fabric texture. Stashing her bow on her back, you see the face of Sierra Phillips. And she's going to basically punch you out while you're grappled. We can roll for it, but
I'd like to try and roll gymnastics to try and like dodge the punches, but I know I have a crazy negative to that.
Yeah, we can roll for it. Or if you want, I can just give you a grit.
I'll do anything for grit. I'll take it.
God, you have to bargain in these situations. Like, this is too great easy, at least.
Kinsey's not a gambler or a face of any type.
Because I don't. She wouldn't shoot the moon, but she would. She would spend a grit to like twist the knife and everything once she hit you, right? So like we can skip all the formalities and have and
Just say he got knocked the fuck out.
and just say she punches you in the face cleanly instead of just weird like scuffle where she punches you like 13 times.
It's gonna be a while. He's got a lot of hit points.
I know. But she gets 2 attacks every turn. I don't want to roll initiative for Kinsey in a bag. Cool. So that's Roland. You're in the bar. Jukebox is playing low. Eli has actually found his own way into the bar.
Weird.
Hey, you guys are open.
Have you seen Jane?
No. Was I supposed to?
Sorry, Eli, we're closed. Is the problem?
What? But you guys are signed. And like both Hazel and Eugene are like, what?
Yeah, no, I know it sucks. Here, and I pour him. Eli, do you have the glass that Ken gave you?
I thought you might ask. And
Yes.
he has a bag you've never seen him have before, like a shoulder bag, and he reaches he reaches carefully into it and then pulls out the intact glass and goes, free drinks.
Yeah, here's some gin. We're closed.
I usually like to post up in a place before, I mean, like, I can go and, do drive-bys in all the saloons if I want. I like the environment here. I like the company.
Hey, Eli, how many days in the last 3 months have you drank here?
Many?
Yes, many. And we've been quite nice and good to you, I think, as owners of this establishment, right?
I mean, yeah, but like, and then Hazel's like, are we open or not?
No, we are not.
Well, damn, am I getting paid still?
Yes.
All right. Eugene? And he's like, all right. And he like starts packing up his like the chips and the cards and everything into his little suitcase. Hazel like puts her stuff down, and Eli's like, "It is a strange charge in the air. I think I might take my leave."
Good. I will see you tomorrow, probably.
All right. And he like walks out a little confused, and as he's walking out, the door opens, and he goes, "I found Pax! She's right here."
That doesn't mean we're open.
All right. Hey, howdy, Pax.
Why are we closed? Hi, Eli. I'm glad you've made it.
Does
And
Eli know Pax's name? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's. I was just gonna roll with it.
I probably should have let you just roll it.
I figure because most people you go by Pax, and Harry calls you Pax, so I think he like thinks your name is like Jane Pax or something like that, or Jane
Sure.
the Pax, like Austin or something. But he shuffles awkwardly by you, and temporarily for a moment masks Marshall Yen from Roland as Pax kind of steps in and go ahead, Pax.
Wait, no, Eli. Wait, what is? We're not
Eli
closed.
found here before you found him, hence trouble, hence we're closed.
I mean,
Then at this point, like Eli's like standing in the hallway a little bit away, is like looking, and then like stepping in front of Eli is Marshall Leonard Yen, who kind of peeks around and makes eye contact with you, Roland.
Ah, I see I was correct.
Roland, we need to make money. We can be open. We have other places to be.
No, we don't. We've made a lot of money. We can be closed today.
Okay, fine.
Marshall Yen kind of steps into the side as Hazel and Eugene walk out. At this point, Eli's like kind of still there, like seemingly unsure, and he goes, "Howdy," to Marshall Yen, who's like, "Howdy," and he goes, as Eugene walks by, so that's a definite on. And Hazel's like, "Eli," I'm going, and he stumbles the other way. And the door shuts behind him, leaving the two of you and Marshall Yen.
What are you doing here?
Short version of the story is I've been tracking Sierra Phillips. I have reason to believe she is a Jimmy for the Gatti family, and she has tracked the three of you here. I didn't. You said Kinsey was here.
Now I assume in a lot of trouble. So we should go deal with that.
I had no idea the three of you were here. I didn't know until Pac sent me the LRC.
But what are you? You just here for Sierra?
Yeah, that's I've been following her. I didn't like the idea of someone in the Dead Man's Gang still being out there.
Okay. Yeah, no, we're closed. This is definitely a day on which we are closed. Hopefully Kinsey has just gotten stuck in a door or something, and there's no cause for concern. But he went to get groceries, and now it's too long for him to have been gone for just groceries. So, well, go on.
Yeah.
You two are going to be in front when a fight breaks out.
Marshall Yen turns, and he's like, about how long ago did he head out? Yeah.
20 minutes.
The answer's about 30-ish minutes ago. 30, 45-ish. Yeah. And the door opens up as you're leaving, and you almost tumble into a child who is there.
Okay, you have to know that this is not a business you can patronize.
About maybe 10 years old, maybe 12. This kid has a parcel in hand, very clearly no shoes, torn up clothes, dirty, and he just holds out the parcel to no one in particular.
I'll take a spur out of my pocket and I'll give them the spur.
Snatches the spur.
Yeah.
Runs off.
The parcel. Yeah.
And as you go to open the parcel, Yen is already standing, he's gonna look at it later. He's scanning the hall with his hand on his gun, just in case anyone else tries to approach or do anything. And you unfold the parcel. First thing you feel is it's wet. And as you unfold it, you see blood. And you get it all the way open, and you see what actually turns out to be a very distinct finger, because it is one of Kinsey's fingers that has been.
You said one grit feels like enough for this, you fool.
One of Kinsey's fingers that has been removed. You recognize the tattoos on the finger. It is in there, and it simply has a note, blood smeared. The note isn't written in blood, but the note has blood on it. And the note says, "He's alive for now." And then it has coordinates.
Oh, good. They would like to talk.
And Marshall Young goes, I don't know about that. It's not really what Jimmies do.
Yes, well, Jimmies who have become Jimmies because they hate the three of us so much that they'll do anything to kill us, I imagine, aren't exactly operating at their best.
All right. Well, those coordinates take us north a ways into the canyons.
I'm gonna take the parcel and I'm gonna put it in like ice.
you go back into the bar, get a thing of ice, and just like shove it in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's only been 20 minutes. 30 minutes? They can't be there yet. There's no time. This seems... What?
Well, the way I see it, we have a couple options. The first is we go there, assuming it is a trap, ready to kill everyone there. The second is we assume they can't possibly have gotten there yet, and we get in the car now and perhaps catch them on the way. The third is we do something here, which I imagine neither of you will like, but probably you, I say to Marshall Yen, will like less than Pax.
And what is that?
Well, as it turns out, there is a man here who quite likes Kinsey, who I imagine might take offense that the Gati family has seemed to end his life.
All right. This guy, what? He's good in a fight, or?
Oh, no. He's linked to the Sheffield family.
Is there a family y'all aren't in cahoots with?
The O'Malleys?
Do you actually know that's not true? Because Roxy is tied to the O'Malley family.
Well, but not really. She does business with the O'Malley family. She's not in the O'Malley
Sure.
family.
Yes, you are correct.
All of the other ones I have personally met members of.
And you think this fellow, what can he do?
I don't know, but I imagine more than me. That's sort of my play. My play here is to pit the powers that be in Tobias Station against the things that would do us harm. The two of you are more in, the shoot the things that want to kill us playbook, so
What do you think, Pax?
I don't know. I could take Umbra. Umbra won't go into a trap. Umbra will go to find Kinsey, maybe. And then maybe you could keep Roland safe. And then Roland can hopefully do something here, I guess. I don't know.
I don't much like the idea of you going out there without backup, but I mean, who's Umbra?
Kinsey's jackalope.
He looks. You guys are still in the hall. He looks up at the sign where it says Umbras and it has light. He goes, "Oh, like literally."
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I mean, if you think there's someone in the station who might be able to help Roland, I can watch your back if you need to meet with them. And Pax, if you think this Umbra can find where Kinsey's being held.
There's no way to say this that you will like this, Pax, but I think you're better off taking the Marshal with you. I'm extremely killable, pretty much anywhere, regardless of who's standing next to me. And here I have a large community of people down here that, at the very least, I think my death might, inspire them as a martyr, provided I can shout something inspiring the moments before I go. And I don't think many of the people I'm going to talk to will take kindly to a marshal being next to me.
Makes sense. The way I see it, this stunt with his finger, that's got to be to draw you out. It means she doesn't feel like she can take you here. She's trying to take you somewhere where she's got an advantage.
I think the two of you take Umbra and go, and I'll make sure that there is not a hole for her to hide in when you come back.
Is that okay? You I don't know. Don't die, okay?
Nothing's quite got me yet, so got a pretty good track record on staying alive.
Sure.
And there's very few birds in here.
That confuses Marshal Yen.
I'll be fine. Go get our mountain man back.
Yeah. Okay. And I could take her in a fair fight anyway. It's the
Probably
unfair
take her in
part.
an unfair fight.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so.
Roland, before we head out, where are you heading next? We should go. If you're meeting with someone, we should get you there. This smells fishy to me. I'm afraid if she's trying to like pick you off one at a time, she sends one of us one way, picks off the other one when they go astray. We leave you behind. She could just double back and take you next.
Well, my next immediate stop, is to go talk to all of my friends in the lower levels underworld and hire them for a time.
All right, is that far?
I mean, it's not very far, and I know literally everyone on the way from here to there, and could knock on their door, and they'd let me in.
All right, I'll head to the stables. Pax, you should go and make sure Roland makes it to these friends of his safely, and I'll meet you at the stables. As far as I know, Sierra's not aware I'm on her tail, so I feel like I can, unless she's watching now, I can make it to the stables fine.
Okay. Here's the ticket for Umbra. There's no payment.
All right, I'll get it ready.
Okay.
All right, and there's like a final moment where like Marshal Yen looks at like over the two of you. He looks a little more ragged. Well, not more ragged than when he was being tortured, but like when you first met him, right? He hasn't. He's got like looks like a couple new scars on his on his like his neck right here, just above his collarbone. He's got like a faded, like kind of almost like goatee beard that's not fully grown in or anything. Like it's just that he hasn't shaved in a while. His hair's a little bit longer and pulled back now, and he is wearing like a hooded poncho that covers up his mechanical arm for the most part. And he just nods to the two of you.
I would like to use empathetic now before he leaves and just get a read on him.
Sure.
I wonder if he's even still a marshal. I mean, I bet he's probably still a marshal. But, like, he might not be.
You don't see his star.
Aha. 3 hits.
Okay. You don't get the sense that he has gone, like, full vigilante, but you do get the sense that he's not necessarily here in his full capacity as a marshal.
He took his vacation days, and this is where he came.
Yeah. And he looks like he's been burning the candle at both ends for a little bit. He's not like completely like running on fumes. He's seems upright. Looks like he's when you for the first time met him, you got the impression of like a righteous marshal who saw things in black and white, and since your time with him, it seems like he's gone a little bit more in like the understanding of like sometimes the law doesn't always get the job done. So there's that. What you get from him primarily is a feeling of like guilt. It seems like he feels incredibly responsible for not having realized what Sierra was here for. He's been in this station probably for at least a few days at the very least, and he didn't catch that you guys were here until Pax sent him the LRC. He just overlooked a big, huge thing that made everything make sense. So he's feeling pretty guilty about that. Had he maybe figured it out sooner, he probably could have prevented Kinsey from being kidnapped.
Okay.
Also, there's like a decent amount of like anger.
Well then, I have to go get changed, as I'm going to go to the upper crust soon, and I need to look up. Ooh.
Yeah, Pax, you're there. Marshal Yen is heading down the hall, leaving.
Okay. Be quick.
Okay. Pax, I do need either you to break in or the combination to the safe, please.
Oh, I don't know it. Hold on.
Okay. You see how this is a problem, right?
Well, I'm here, so what's the big deal?
Okay.
It's a point. It's not a good point, but it's a point.
Sure. You know what? Not the time.
And I open it up.
Great. How many spurs can I hide in secret pockets and they remain secret?
Tell me how many you want to hide.
I want to hide 153 spurs in my secret pockets.
That's too many spurs.
Okay.
Let's call it 50.
Oof. Okay. Cool. Pax is with me, so I take 70 spurs out of our bar.
Okay.
50 of it is in secret pockets that no one will ever find, even if I'm dead.
They'll burn the clothes before they find them.
And then I put on my finest clothes and my very fine hat.
Nice. All right. Roland exits the back of the saloon, the spitting image of a gentleman.
Okay, let's go hire some crooks to do some crimes.
Sure. I have all of my stuff. I also changed, sort of.
Kinsey,
Mm-hmm.
you awake. You appear to be tied up and bundled on the back of. At first, you would think it was an animal, but then you hear the whirring servitor, joints and engines of an automaton horse that is galloping. You would guess by the smell outside Tobias Station. Still in the Badlands, so you haven't been out that long. But you have a bag over your head that makes it pretty hard for you to see anything. And you are completely bound. But you are conscious.
I'd like to get this bag off of my head so that I can try and see something. I think that would be possible.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have to roll for that. Basically, you're kind of like hunched over the back seat, like your knees kind of like on a saddlebag, and your head like and like arms like resting against another saddlebag. And so you're able to like with your like thumbs
Oh sure, yeah.
like get the bag a little loose and then like hook it on something on the saddlebag and then get your eyes free. You're kind of blinded for a second by the sun as you are on you're bound. Like not only are you bound, but you are tied to the back of an automaton horse while Sierra Phillips pilots it. Judging by the sun, you know the time of day. You're very good at survival. You know that you are heading. You know that you are heading north.
Okay, all right.
You kind of look back and you can't see Tobias Station, but that's probably because of rocky terrain, not because of extreme distance.
Right.
The terrain is familiar enough that you know that you're still like in the same region as Tobias Station. It's actually not too dissimilar from the terrain you recall seeing when you guys headed north to you drove past this area, but like you headed through like those like all the canyons and like rocky terrain to go plant those devices for Anton Granger. You're kind of in that kind of canyon like terrain with like tall like stone walls and like avenues between like rocky crags and stuff like that.
This was the dangerous area, right? The most dangerous in terms of Ogrinos.
No. That's
Okay.
Much further north of here. This is the area where
between there.
this is the area where Roland was white knuckling it to just like zoom through the terrain. Honestly, this ride that you're on right now is much more comfortable than the drive Roland did when he came through this way.
Okay, all right. Good information to have. I don't want Sierra to know that I'm awake, so I'm going to take some deep breaths, and I'm going to try and remember my time in the Ophidian clan's cave. And I'm going to spend some time meditating and trying to connect with nature to see if there's any kind of way that nature can help me in this situation, because otherwise I have no way how to get in contact with my friends.
Sure. So you're trying to commune with nature, and what is the question in particular? Can nature help me here?
Essentially, yes. Like, how can I start to leave a pathway for my friends?
Sure. Yeah. So go ahead. So you get the answer you get is there's plenty. First off, there's plenty of ways that you can do that. You could, kick off a boot. You could, if they're smart enough to bring like Umbra along, Umbra can probably follow your scent decently. Especially if you do weird shit like hawk loogies and stuff.
Perfect.
But the one thing you do get is that She's making pretty good time, and you don't know, like, you're unaware that they've been given any coordinates or anything like that. What you do know is there are animals around here. You can kind of feel their presence as you're being like kind of drawn, and you're like meditating on it. You like kind of like you get like a whiff of like axe handle urine, right? And like you look around and you see like markings and like possibly axe handle hound like dens that have been abandoned. Like this area probably has some axe handle hounds around.
Sure.
And if there was a way you could utilize that to leave signs of a struggle against axe handle hounds, leave a dead axe handle hound behind, like with an arrow in its head, that would be a good a good indicator. Stuff like that. Those are the things that are immediately at your disposal that you can kind of sense around here. You actually there's a point it gets really quiet. The engine below you and the like thumping of the mechanical hooves all kind of gives away, and you hear your breath, and it's almost like you're back in the crystal the Black Scale Cavern, and then you just hear the yelp and bark of a couple axe handle hounds off in the distance, and then it all comes back.
Perfect, amazing. I think I'm going to try and hang on to that state. I haven't quite grasped it yet, but something about thinking about Umbra and leaving scent and sign for Umbra. I'm going to focus in on that and trying to continue into a further state of meditation as we go on.
Sure. Yeah, okay. So we'll cut back to Roland and Pax for a moment. You guys are heading through the lower levels to the bar that Roxy and Marvin and Earl and Bender and Lena hang out at.
Mm-hmm.
You find them there.
Great.
Roxy seems to not be doing business right now. She seems to just be enjoying life.
Good. I'm glad she's still riding that high.
She's got her feet up. They're all they're all obviously have been drinking for a little while today, and they come in and Roxy goes, "Hey, you come to join in on the fun? Look at this hat! Look at this guy! I love it! Look at it! You do not belong down here. I'm telling you, this guy's a high roller."
No, I certainly do not. I've come to hire some folks.
They all look to Roxy, and Roxy immediately sits up and goes, "All right, we're listening."
Great. I've got 8 spurs ahead for anyone willing to work as a bodyguard today.
They look at each other for a second, and then all of them are like, yeah. And even Bender was the one with the guns, right? Yeah. Bender sits there and kind of coolly goes, "For who?"
Me.
"Do we gotta look the part like you?"
No, it's actually quite preferable that you don't.
All right. For the day, 8 spurs seems good.
Great. How many? It's 4 of them?
If you're including Roxy, it's 5.
Has she volunteered?
Not. She is there. She didn't say immediately yes, but also she likes money, and you think that if you offered it to her, she would say yes. Definitely, Marvin, Earl, Bender, and Lena are all in. They're kind of a crew that operate together. Roxy is their friend and sometimes works with them, but Roxy's not necessarily a fighter. She's more of a peddler, right? So, so she's not. It doesn't seem exactly certain if the offer is extended to her.
Shit. Well, she's probably got useful things that can be thrown at someone in the event of a fight. Yeah. Here's a bag with 40 spurs, and I set it down on the table. You're all hired.
Whoo! And they go and start divvying up the spurs, and they're like, so we start now, huh? says Marv.
Yes.
All right. Where to, boss? You got us for the day.
And I turn to Pax. You can probably meet our friend at the stables now.
Sure. Roxy?
Yes.
Remember our first day when we met and I traded you for a gun? Do you still have that gun?
I do recall. Yes. Haven't found a buyer yet. But it's in a safe spot. You looking to buy it back? I don't do rentals.
Okay. So here's I, at this moment, don't have that kind of money, but the information you sold me wasn't worth that gun. So
No,
you
it
can
wasn't.
you can rent this gun out to me today, or I can make you.
Ooh, oh, they all start saying, go ahead and roll intimidate.
Yes. I would like to bamboozle.
I will use the motivational speaker.
Great. I'm just gonna bamboozle 3.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll say to Roxy, look me in the eyes. Is today a day to make this the hill upon which you die? Oh, that's a good roll. Yeah, that's 4 hits.
You get a +4, Pax. And you are currently up against a 9. You are muted, I think.
My phone was ringing on my computer, so I had to mute it. So, okay, great. Oh, reliability.
I just looked in the chat, and someone, I assume when we were talking about Kinsey having lost a finger, someone said, well, he also has so much extra blood. As was established during the Snallygaster fight.
The ability to just generate a lot more of it on the fly.
Take a deep breath. There it is.
I also have a 9.
Oh. Well, you are the aggressor here.
Yeah.
So how many successes over a 9?
1.
Just the 1?
Just the 1.
You have 2 grit?
I do, but I really want to use it to kill Sierra.
Yeah, so she goes, hey, I'm always open to new business ventures. No need to get touchy. We can make a deal. I mean, that gun's worth a lot. And I know that you guys are making it good there at Umbra's, so let's call it a 50 spur rental.
How about free drinks for a month?
And your joint, it's a little too clean.
Rude.
Just think of how many drinks you could have. You pay here. Think of all the money you could save. Think of the life you could continue to have with the money Roland's already given you.
You guys all right with me setting up shop in there? I don't drink where I can't work.
Sure.
For a month.
I still need a little money down, just to be sure. 15 spurs?
No.
Damn. The boss is back at it.
I have to kill someone with that gun. And its friend doesn't have anyone to shoot at the moment.
Here's 5 spurs. This conversation is over. Please hand over the gun.
You guys have built up a decent amount of goodwill with me. I guess this is you spending it. And she goes over to.
Can I walk over and get it out of her little like hidey hole that that I've seen her put things in before?
She's going somewhere else.
Oh, interesting. Never mind that. I wanted to show her up, but never mind.
No. She goes over, steps behind the bar. The bartender just acts like she doesn't realize that Roxy's there, and then Roxy like puts her nails behind the mirror and like pries it open, and then pulls out like a key and like locks it or like unlocks a thing, and then reaches back, slides out a cloth wrapping, and closes it back up, and then walks over to you, Pax, and goes, "There you go. Kept it clean. Should shoot straight."
Better. Have fun with Roland today. I leave.
Come on then. There's no time to waste.
Where to, boss?
And I start heading to the upper crust.
All right. You do that, Pax. You're heading to the stables?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You get to the stables and you see Marshal Yen walking out of the stables with Umbra, kind of leading him by some leather straps, walking him out and being like, "This is Kinsey's new friend, then."
Yeah. Hey, Umbra.
Hey, this is the first time I've seen a jackalope up this close.
Well, he's kind of great. But if you tell Kinsey that, I will definitely hurt you.
That you find this jackalope great?
He's been looking for a way for me to like the outdoors for a really long time, and I'm not giving him any ground.
I don't think it will come up.
So I'll go over to Umbra, and I'll just be like, "I know that you can't understand me." But
Umbra's nose twitches.
But Kinsey is in trouble. And I think that you can find him.
Kinsey, remind me what talents you have, specifically in relation to Umbra.
The one that's relevant now is mental link.
Well, that's not the name of the talent, right? But that is a side effect of one of the talents, right?
Oh, spirit animal is the name of the link the name of the talent that gives me the mental link. Yes.
So, Kinsey, you're laying there, still trying to like keep that calm state, breathing in and out. And you manage to kind of find that centering moment where like it starts to like get a little more quiet, not like complete silence, but like, you know, the sound around you gets a little more muffled. You hear the wind, and you hear Pax say that.
Can I see Pax?
The moment you think about that, you can. You like are like, what? And then like you like focus in on it, and you're like, and it's like your eyes are closed, but you feel, it's almost like when you like your eyes were closed but you've opened your eyes in the Black Scale Cavern. You open your eyes and it's like Umbra blinks, and he looks at you. Umbra looks at you, Pax, like he understands you. And Kinsey, you see Pax there through Umbra's eyes. You're not like controlling Umbra. You haven't like, you know, but you are, Umbra is sharing this vision with you. And you actually feel Umbra's presence too a little bit, Kinsey. He seems worried, but also hungry, and
Sure, of course.
and also a little excited to see Pax.
All right. I think my eyes are closed and I'm like feeling Umbra's presence, and I kind of like feel his personality. And it's like it's not just a link from me to him; it's like a link back and forth. And I kind of like feel as though I am a jackalope. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think on the back of the mechanical horse, I'll start like twitching my head and I kind of do like a. And like I'm feeling the strange sensation of having ears for the first time. So I think as I'm thinking about it, Umbra's ears go like up and down, and they do like a little like flag sign sort of thing.
Yeah, Umbra kind of like twitches a little bit. His ears flap a little bit, and Kinsey then at this moment, Umbra like kind of feeling your presence, not really startled by it, kind of like inviting you in. You feel like Umbra being excited by this connection to you, like oh, I do know where he is. But then you are still seeing through Umbra's eyes, and Umbra does look to the side, and you do see Marshal Leonard Yen standing there, holding the lead for Umbra, and Umbra doesn't have any feelings about him except for maybe food.
Kinsey immediately panics. And just without thinking, I think he's just going to be like, "Get her and run!"
Oh, okay. So Pax, you say, I think you might be able to find him. And then like Umbra like does this weird little thing where he blinks and seems to like understand you. And then his ears kind of like twitch a little bit. He looks to the side. And Marshal Yen is kind of sitting there like looking a little like confused. And then all of a sudden, Umbra just like drops his head and throws you onto his back, Pax, and just starts running. Like the lead flies out of Marshal Yen's hand.
Whoa, wait, whoa, whoa.
And Pax, you're athletic enough that I'm not going to make you roll to like stay on the jackalope. Unless you want to try and jump off of it. But like, yeah, you're like, you are able to hold on and like kind of reorient yourself, and you are on the back. He's already saddled and everything. You're on the back of Umbra, who is just beating it towards the north, with Marshal Yen being left in the dust.
Yeah, wait. Umbra, wait, whoa, stop. No, we need to, he's a, what, wait, we need to go back.
Kinsey, you're in control of what Umbra does here.
I guess I can't talk through Umbra, so I'll stop and like let her off. Like I let her off, but I like still want to see her. So like.
So yeah, you basically tell Umbra like stop, like, let her off, really keep an eye on her. Sure. Okay, yeah. So you tell it. So yeah, you like Umbra like stops and like kneels down so you can get off Pax.
Okay.
In the back, you see like Marshal Yen like kind of standing there and like sees this and is like, okay. He starts like jogging to like to catch up. He's got a little ways to go though. And then you get off Umbra. Umbra stands up, and then Kinsey, you say like, look her right in the face. And so Umbra turns around and puts his face right in front of your face, Pax.
And his little brown eyebrows go.
Umbra raises his little eyebrows, his little brown eyebrow dots.
Stay.
Umbra sits down.
Okay, great, good boy. Like pet his nose.
Yeah, Umbra loves it.
Okay.
Kinsey, you feel like the sensation Umbra gets when he's pet. It's like, oh yeah, that's the spot. It's always the spot. Whatever spot it is, that's the spot.
Okay. Just it's okay. We're gonna get to Kinsey. We just need to bring my friend along. It's okay.
You say friend, and Umbra does like a like.
No. Stay.
Umbra shakes his head.
Is there like are your ears bothering you? Bring him down. No, stop.
Kinsey, you get smacked in the face. Temporarily jarring your connection with Umbra. You get hit in the face as Sierra has noticed you are awake and you are moving around and like thrashing, and she's like, she hits in the face and goes, "Cut it out! You're not getting out of this."
Ah! Oh, right in the nose! Come on.
She doesn't have a response for that. She just keeps writing.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. We're both gonna get on you now. Don't go yet. And I like pull, like grab the like lead again, and like wait for Marshall Yen.
Yeah, he catches up and he goes, "You got it?
Yeah?
All right."
I don't know. I've never seen him act like that before. Yeah. Okay. So, I guess, how good are you with animals? Because I'm not really.
Well, if this one, you're right there, and like presses his hand on Umbra's nose. Kinsey, when you got punched, your head like kind of like jammed into where your hands are, and you suddenly are very aware of a very sharp, hot pain on your left hand.
No. Can I see it?
Yeah, now that you're aware of it, you kind of like peek and look, and you see that your hand is wrapped in bloody cloth.
Can I try and like make a fist? What feels weird?
Your ring finger. It hurts a lot.
No, not the ring finger. I love the ring finger.
It hurts so much.
I think the ring finger is the one with the tattoo. The
It is.
sign on. Oh, great, perfect, wonderful. I start not screaming, but like like when you see something that you're not sure of, but you know is really, really bad, you kind of go like,
You get hit in the head again, and she's like, "Hush up, or I'll put you under again."
I don't have a response to that.
That's what she wants. During this time, Umbra does allow Marshall Yen on to saddle up, but does seem a little suspicious of Marshall Yen. Not really sure, a little confused, but not as adamant as he was before. And Kinsey, you feel this kind of like uncertainty coming from Umbra as Marshall Yen kind of like climbs into the saddle and then helps like packs up onto the back and is like, "All right, Umbra's the name. All right, Umbra. Let's go find your friend." Yep. And he gives Umbra a little kick, and then Umbra starts running towards the north.
Wow.
Roland.
So there's just like a handful of LRC stations around Tobias Station, right?
Correct.
Great. I stop at one of them.
Okay.
I send a message to the Riveteers, Tusk in specific, and also Red Wheel.
Okay.
Someone has tried to kill Kinsey, and they'd like us to meet them at these coordinates. Thought you'd like to know.
You know that they're probably too far away to get there today.
No, I know. But
Okay.
they're not too far away to get there tomorrow.
Okay. So you send out that message. and then continue up to the upper crust. You get there. Your random assortment of outlaws and urchins behind you. They are immediately uncomfortable with the fact that they're in the upper crust, but not as uncomfortable with compared to how everyone else who sees you. They see you completely like elegantly dressed, very fine hat, very nice clothing. Look like you belong here, and you are flanked by 5 just completely lower level like patchwork armor, dirt and grime. And at first they look a little uncomfortable. They're like, "Are we doing this?" He said 8 spurs. And then Roxy's like, "I don't even know what's going on. Hey, look, if something happens, like, you know, get his back, but like, just be ready." And they you get up to the top, and at first they're like unsure. It almost seems like they feel like they're being like led to a trap.
So yeah, as we're walking up, and I can see they're uncomfortable. Like, so one of the most important things you learn as you operate in my profession is that first impressions can tell you a lot about a person. And so what we are presenting here is that I am a man of principle, class, and dignity, and I'm willing to drag you into a dark alley and have you shivved by a bunch of grimy criminals if you cross me. And that's what people see when they see us. And that's what I want everyone we interact with today to feel. Because that is the truth of this moment. For me, personally.
Bender grins and like nods, and Roxy's like, "Damn. What's going on, Roland? I mean, you and Pax on edge like this."
Someone has taken something from us.
Okay. She decides not to ask any more questions.
That is the right decision today.
And you walk by the stream, everyone kind of like clutching their pearls, and like you're like, "Oh my, what's going on?" People like crossing across bridges to get out of the way as you kind of like carve a path through high society towards is it the gem of the station? Is that right?
I think
The
so.
pearl.
The pearl of the station. The pearl of the station.
Right. Nothing that makes less sense than the gem of the station.
You're walking towards there, and about halfway down that walk, your merry band of misfits have taken from being uncomfortable to very much enjoying how scared the rich people are of them.
Good.
They're like, and there's like one point where Earl, who's just kind of like lumbering alongside, turns to the side and sees like this like very finely dressed man like holding a book to his chest like it's a Bible, and he's standing on like holding onto the railing like as if he's about to like, you know, as if he's like needs some stability, and Earl just goes, "Boo." And he goes like, "Oh!" And then like scampers away down the other side of the bridge to like get more distance between him. He's like, "They're so small." Yeah, you make it to the pearl, and as you're getting there, there is like a concierge or someone who works there, someone in like uniform, rushes forward and goes, Sir, I'm sorry,
Yes.
there, can I help you?" He says, like not really looking at you, more looking at the people around you.
Right. And
They've stopped you like about 5 to 10 feet away from the door.
Great. I like move to be in his sight line so that he has to look at me to talk to me.
He eventually like zeroes in on you, but like can't fully maintain eye contact.
Yes. I am a personal friend of Gray Foster, and I have called to come meet him here.
Sir, if Mr. Foster did not alert me of any friends.
No, it's a bit of a surprise. Would you mind ringing him?
Sir, perhaps you and your friends could go near the local saloon, and I could send Mr. Foster to you. If you give
I'm
me
afraid
his,
it's quite urgent, and Mr. Foster will want to know.
we don't
Would
want
you like...
any.
Sorry, what was your name?
We don't want any trouble, sir.
No, sorry, hold on, I asked you a question. What was your name?
Benjamin.
Benjamin, would you like me to have to tell Mr. Foster that Benjamin has hindered me delivering very important news to him at the saloon? Or shall we just do the thing where you go get him?
Go ahead and feels more like intimidate with your friends. You get a +5 for having 5 very grimy friends with you, though.
Great. Am I addressed to impress?
Yes.
And this is my first impression?
Yes.
Great. I now intimidated a 17.
Man, those talents.
You are up against an 8.
Great. I got a 17, a 16, and a 12.
Okay, cool. He goes, your name?
Roland.
Mr. Roland, he says, like, a little more quietly.
No. Roland is a first name. You should know that. You work up here.
Sir, I will send for Mr. Foster.
Thank you.
Would your compatriots kindly wait out back?
I look around. Is there like... I assume this is sort of like a courtyard out front of the...
Yeah.
And I see a bench sort of off to the side, but still in the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
No, but they can go sit on that bench politely.
Very well, sir. Welcome to the Pearl.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Then he, like, as stiffly as you can while still moving, he turns and, like, walks, like, he's walking, like his arms are pressed up, like, his elbows are pressed up against his ribs as if to stop them from bursting, and his like fingers are crossed in front of his chest like he's praying, and he's just like walking you in to the lobby of the Pearl as he like darts his eyes, and Marvin, Earl, Bender, and Roxy just like walk over. Earl like lights up a cigarette and puts his like foot up on like a fountain, and Marvin like takes up a bunch of the bench. Earl just like leans up against a pillar. Like they just like immediately become a scar on the immaculate landscape of this courtyard.
I make eye contact with Roxy and I say, "Don't get kicked out."
Sure thing.
And I head in.
You walk in. The lobby of the Pearl is beautiful. It's extremely tall ceilinged, like arcing up. It kind of like twists into this almost reflect like the top part kind of twists and has these like sharp edges to make this kind of swirling effect up to the ceiling, the tip of the ceiling. But it's super reflective. So what it does is like there's these lights that are like projected onto that, and they make like this like really beautiful like kind of like kaleidoscope effect, like as if you're looking through a diamond when you're looking up.
That's very cool.
And there's a big open like or a big like curved desk in front of an open lobby. You see a very like nice like waiting area to the left, and then like stairs to the right that like arch up and then like run along a bank of like elevators, and there's like people manning the elevators, and everyone's kind of watching you. You see behind there's the door, and then there's like a big arched like glass facade that allows them to see people coming. That's how they saw you approaching with your motley crew, and everyone is watching, like kind of standing. Everyone who is there is like watching your group of people standing there and be like, are they gonna stay there all day? I have things to do. Benjamin walks up, whispers something to like one of the concierge, or like another concierge, who like looks confused, looks at you, and then like nods and like goes over towards the door uncomfortably. And then he walks around. Benjamin walks around the back of the table, grabs like a telephone, presses turns the dial a couple times, and then sits there. Mr. Foster, I have a gentleman who is in the lobby. His name is Roland, and yes, Mr. Foster. He did bring friends. No one by that description, no. Well, one man is...
You can tell him my friends are more than happy to wait outside.
Is one of them, Ken?
No, that's actually what I'm here to talk to him about.
It appears Ken is not here, but is the cause of the meeting. Right away, sir. I understand. Of course, sir. He looks at you, a little terrified, and he goes, "It may have slipped my mind." Right. I understand. Right away, sir. And he sets the receiver down and goes, "It's customary for Mr. Foster's guests to be offered a drink when they arrive. Would you like anything, sir?"
I would love your finest whiskey.
Of course. He glances out towards the courtyard as if doing mental math and goes,
"They're on the clock, don't worry."
"Oh, very good, sir." And he gets you your drink, and you are escorted up to one of the elevators. This is about a 14-story tall. It's a pretty tall building.
Wow. The view must be great.
Yeah. And you go all the way to the top.
That makes sense.
You are set on an elevator that only goes to the top. You notice that the person who is manning the elevator is armed. And
Hello, James.
Sir. Closes the gate, rides the elevator up, opens the gate, and there you exit into a beautiful suite. Nice tall ceilings. It has a sloped, not a sloped floor, but a tiered floor that goes down to the rest of it from the elevator. Sure enough, amazing view of the strip, the full strip of the at the top of the mesa of the upper crust, all the way down to the edge. You see the Badlands off in the distance. You actually see off in the distance, that's a good enough view. You see a herd of Ache running along in the south.
Presumably terrified by a snallygaster in the night.
And standing there, drink in hand, in sort of a red smoker's jacket wrapped around a robe, is Gray Foster, and he goes, "Roland, I must say, this is extraordinary."
Well, extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary measures.
Yes, do tell me, what has befallen my very good friend Ken?
A Agati Jimmy has kidnapped him.
He sits there just frozen for a second. He sets the glass down, raises his head up, just completely confused. He goes, "Please, do elaborate."
As you know, we are drifters, and a while back, we got into some business with the Gatis, and they were unsatisfied with the end result of that business. And as it turns out, another one of our endeavors has met up with the Gartees and is now employed by them. And so a couple of vendettas have sort of tied themselves together and now are going to kill Ken. They'd probably love to kill me and Jane as well, but in the immediate moment, they do have Ken.
I just want to be a part of it.
It's a lovely call.
Thank you. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, he does have a dog. Jay Foster has a dog, like just a normal dog. That jumps up on the furniture, sits down, looks at you, and like just kind of like licks its chops and yawns. Well, that is quite a tale. I struggle to grasp the intention behind your spectacle here. Are you here to intimidate me into pulling some strings? I do not know that many people in the Gati family.
No, they're not for you. This is my first call today, and you are by far the most reasonable person I'm going to talk to. They're for later. No, I thought that you would be personally interested in this immediate circumstance. And then also, I imagine the Sheffield family would be keen to know that the Gartees have seen fit to take someone from Tobias Station, presumably without communicating with any of the other families who have a presence here.
I would say you seem quite familiar with the dealings of the family. Where do you hail from?
I'm from Alanistan.
Happen to do much family business there in Alanistan?
As little as I can manage.
Oh yes, Alanistan is in my notes a lot.
Weird. I wonder why.
Yes, all of the early notes being like they're being taken to Alanistan. They're taking the hobbits to Alanistan. Now, you must forgive me for asking so many questions, but I do feel like I am warranted a few, given the surprise circumstance of this request, which you have not gotten to the detail of, but we will work within the confines of the current conversation.
Strange dog you've got.
Sorry, I was watching one of my soaps. No. I would love to hear more about the exact circumstances of your dealings with the Gati family. Now, whether or not they have keyed in other members of other families to their business, I wouldn't be one to know. However, the Kanums would be the ones who they would most likely need to clear things with. If the Kanums say something is fine, then most people most people accept it as law. The second most influential family would be the Acostas. They could perhaps arrange such a thing. They have decent relationships with the Kanums, and on occasion they do like to step outside the lines, and often favor asking for forgiveness instead of permission, and are allowed to operate as such to maintain the peace. The Sheffields are not always accorded such generosities, and therefore I may not be able to help you in the ways you seek, which I would like to learn of now. What do you want from me, young man?
I would like help getting my friend back, preferably alive, and preferably intact. Though I suppose the absence of his ring finger is probably going to be permanent.
Oh, I did like that ring finger.
It's a good ring finger. No, I'm actually... It's sort of a combination of things. I apologize. Usually I possess a lot more finesse and subtlety, but as you can imagine, timetable's a bit tight. You mentioned the Acostas prefer to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Did they do that when they killed Ephraim?
You are muted, but they may have heard you through my microphone. I am sorry. Roland, do have a seat.
Of course.
He sits across from you. He looks suddenly tired, and he goes, I find your friend Ken to be quite enjoyable. He is decent company, and I must say, I always am looking for new entertainment, and, well, someone marching brigands to the Pearl and confronting me in my own suite is a new occurrence.
Oh, please. This is not a confrontation. I mean you no harm.
Sounds like you mean a great deal of other people harm, and by speaking with me of such things, you could inadvertently do me harm. You've put me in quite a position. Now, you are unaffiliated with any family, from my understanding. You work for no one. And as such, to come in here and make such accusations towards the Acostas, I would first be obligated to, had I heard such a thing, be obligated to tell the Acostas or the Canoons that someone is in the station looking to start a war. Luckily, my dog just so happened to be quite a nuisance, and I didn't quite catch what it was you said.
So actually, my point in asking him the question was I didn't actually need him to... It doesn't matter what he said in response. I just needed to be able to read his reaction to when I said it. So
sure.
I'd like to roll that.
Sure. Are you using empathetic, or are you trying to oppose him?
I'm probably honestly doing both.
Okay.
So I'll roll empathetic now, and then I'll roll the opposed manipulate.
Okay.
So that's 4 hits on empathetic.
Okay.
And then on manipulate, I assume I am dressed to impress.
Yeah. You are up against a 15.
Every time I try to save grit, Tommy, every time. I will twist the knife to count my 15. Or, sorry, not...
Play to the gallery?
Play to the gallery to count my 15.
Cool.
And then I will roll an explosion. If only I had... Now, the only thing that maybe I don't have to spend crit is this my real first impression.
No.
Some would argue he's never actually met me. Yeah, so it's just the one net hit.
There we go. Okay, so you got 1 then.
Yeah, 1 net hit on the opposed rating
Okay.
of him, and 4 on empathetic.
So empathetic, you get a couple things. 1, while Gray Foster is effectively a professional party boy, he is still a member of the family, and
Professional.
What's that?
He's still a professional.
Yeah. He is still a member of the family, and as such, you immediately like see that like you are toying with potentially a different side of him, where like perhaps someone like him might not have just been given a position like this. He may have earned a position like this by doing other things. And you immediately, as soon as like it's the moment you walked in the door, right? He is greeting you with like open arms, but like, you know, he's got two arms out welcoming you, and if he had a third arm, it would be holding a like dagger or a gun behind his back.
He does have a third arm. It's the guy in the elevator behind me.
Yeah. You imagine wherever he is sitting, like right now, he probably has a very deadly weapon within arm's reach, hidden somewhere. You are in basically like the lion's den. He is not necessarily as dangerous as say like the, you know, people like the Salem Bahara. Like he's not as high ranking as Salem Bahara in the Kanoom family, or when you were with the matriarch of the Kati family. I mean, she wasn't like the leader of the Kati family, but like the head of that area of the Kati like business. Those people were potentially more dangerous and had more immediate threats to bring to bear. But you're still dealing with a member of the family, and he is ready at any moment when he decides that you are a threat, not even if it's not intentional, right? Like kind of like what he said, like if he feels like your business puts his family's business in jeopardy, or puts his life in jeopardy because, you know, being complicit in whatever you're doing would, you know, basically be the end of him. That's the moment where he would decide, I solved this problem by killing this guy. Is like the sense you get from it. You're not to that point yet, but he is bristling as he is uncertain what's going on. You also get the sense, like, kind of like what he started to say, he finds Kinsey like amusing, but he is struggling to see why he would contribute any resources or risk anything to help you. That he sees no percentage in this. People around him die all the time. People he likes probably die all the time. He may have even killed some people he likes. That's just how the family business do. And so he doesn't understand. You get the sense that he's not understanding what's in it for him, basically. His friendship with Kinsey is not enough for him to risk anything. If he got a letter, you get the sense if he got a letter today that said kill Ken Charlotte, he'd go, it is unfortunate, and then he would kill Kinsey. You got one net hit on the opposed. So the thing he is kind of obfuscating is you get the sense that he hopes there's a reason. But you have nothing more than that.
Great.
Like him giving you a second shot, like the way he did it, he's like, try again.
Mr. Foster, I can understand you doing the math in your head right now about whether it's easier for you to shoot me or to listen to me. So I will explain to you the situation that we find ourselves in. Currently, a significant portion of the lower levels of this station finds Umbras to be a beacon of hope and inspiration. Now, in a month, that might be a beacon of hope and inspiration and a voice of protest, and in another month, that might be a beacon of revolution. And in a month after that, the Sheffields might find themselves in a significantly better position than they are now at Tobias Station. So you can shoot me, but I imagine you didn't get where you are by being scared of investments. And if Ken is dead, I'm less inclined to do a nice thing for you.
Talk of revolution is easy. Such a thing can be difficult.
Yes. Hence, time. What, you think we rolled into Tobias Station and decided to set down roots for 3 months because we got bored and wanted to open a bar?
I honestly don't know why anyone would elect to stay here unless they had strong reasons to do so.
Well, I thought it would be easier to overthrow the ruling class of this place if the underclass of it believed us to be one of them.
There you go. Talking in grandeur and casting a wide net. I have friends who I would prefer to see protected. And
what are their names?
Not everyone who is in charge of Tobias Station deserves to be sent to the gallows. And I have no interest of being a pawn being the spark that lights the fire to a family war here at Tobias Station. That would be quite unfortunate for everyone involved. Most importantly, myself, which is why I do not want to anger the other families.
Well, I have unfortunate news for you, Mr. Foster. A man is dead with links to the Kanoom family by murder in Tobias Station.
This is the first I've heard of it, he says, like, with a grin.
And so the war that you fear is looming, regardless of what you do now.
Well then. Suppose there is a way I may be able to assist you with Ken. I still am unable to formulate such a thing, but I imagine you have something in mind. Suppose I am able to do whatever it is you need me to do, and I, from there, consider myself in business with you. I would love to know more about what is a-brewing in the barrels of beneath the barrels of Umbra of Umbras, and be a part of such a thing from afar, perhaps silent in some way. But my support of any such movement would require it to be done in a way that prevents the very war you say looms. I grow tired of Tobias Station, but I would hate to have to find another line of work.
Well, it is entirely possible that the culprit in this heinous murder has no affiliation with the family at all. It's entirely possible it's someone who stands to profit from a family war here in Tobias Station. Perhaps someone who controls who gets preferable dock privileges and whose shipments are inspected and who pays taxes and who doesn't. I can't say for certain, but if there were someone like that here, I imagine they would benefit quite well from the family vying for her support, should she exist.
Well, you are quite bold, and I admire that. Now we get down to what exactly it is you would like me to do to help you out of your current predicament.
Well, here are the coordinates where we've been told to meet, presumably, the Garti trap for Ken. Jane and a friend of ours are currently on their way there. And I would love if they had backup.
The Gati, you say you had some dealings with the Gatis. Sounds like a personal matter. Do you know who has taken him?
Oh, what was her name? The Gati matriarch?
I have that. Akeo
I suspect it is Akeo Gati, as I made her look like a fool in a previous dealing, and she's trying to save face. She's hired a woman by the name of Sierra Phillips, who, I imagine now that I think about it, have also made to look quite a fool in our previous dealings.
But those days are behind you. You're done making your business partners look like fools, correct?
I'm done making people look like fools who I don't need to like. And you, Mr. Foster, I will tell you right now, I need you to like me.
Well, I will endeavor to continue to be necessary, lest I find myself looking the fool. I can't send tangible aid to your friends. Such a thing would cross a line, but knowing the name of Akeo Gati, and should your, at the very least, whether or not your suspicion that they have not asked permission is true, I can make quite the fuss that I saw dear old Sierra Phillips, a known Jimmy of the Gati family, walking around Tobiah Station, and I had never heard such a thing, was approved. And at the very least, perhaps stall or either stall her or get the hit called off for the time being. If we happen to find the Gatis with the hands in the cookie jar, it should not be too hard.
Excellent. I appreciate that.
And you will be seeing much more of me as I come to Umbra's to check in on our mutual investment.
And I raise my glass. Viva la Revolution. And I drink it and get up to leave.
He leans back. The door opens as you approach. That same guard is there.
James.
Sir. He presses the lever on the elevator, and it starts going down. Everyone can have a grit for excellent roleplay. Pax. Umbra seems to know where to go. And Kinsey, Sierra stops.
Mhm.
And she pulls you off the back of the automaton horse, sets you down in the middle of what looks like, it's kind of like a clearing, basically, like a flat, clear area with tall, rocky walls around it and only one entrance in.
Mm-hmm.
She sets you down, and then says, "Don't move."
Couldn't dream of it.
And she goes, and there's like a pack behind a rock that she pulls out, and she pulls out something that looks familiar to you. It looks like a stealth drone, like the drone that you guys found. Mm-hmm. And she controls it, and like it whoosh, flies up in the air. And she's like kind of looking at like the little like control for it, and is like kind of like taking a moment to kind of scout with this stealth drone. And Kinsey, you see through Umbra's eyes, he's like running, and just like a slight glint of that stealth drone way off in the distance, like in the sun, like easy to miss, but like you being on both sides, right. Yeah, being on both sides of this thing, you know exactly what to look for.
I look around and I tell him to hide, if at all possible.
Go ahead and roll. It would be an instinct test for Umbra.
Perfect. Excellent. So my pool is half of the instinct pool, right?
Yep. Yeah. Your instinct stat works just like. Yep.
Right.
Works like any other attribute only test. You are up against... I guess... Currently, you're up against a 10.
It's alright, it's still one hit over a 10.
What's your highest?
11.
That's fine. I'm not going to spend any great. So, Pax, as you're running, like, Marshall Young's like, is this normal? I'm not even steering here. It's just running. It's heading in the direction of the coordinates. How does it know?
I don't know, but they have a weird bond. He went on like a weird in the desert vision quest and came back with a rabbit. So like, I don't know.
All right, I guess best we don't talk. We might bite our tongues, because Umbra is just tearing through, trying to catch up, and then suddenly like skids to a stop and leaps the other direction, and both you and like Yen have to like grab on. Yen actually grabs onto one of the antlers, as he's like holding on, like, oh jeez, and like Umbra like leaps into a little alcove and like slides up against the rock there and like lowers his ears back, kind of like flapping onto your thighs, and like hunkers down low and like sits there like waiting.
Okay. I don't know what this means.
Marshall Yen like draws his pistol from his holster. Do we just wait, or should one of us scout ahead?
I think Umbra like looks back at him and goes like,
he like flips past you like, does this thing understand me?
I don't. Maybe? I don't know.
Did he
not.
just roll its eyes at me? He like looks at Umbra, looks at his gun, slides the gun into the holster. Umbra gives him like a kind little nod. Pax, what's going on?
With Umbra? I don't know.
You seem awfully calm with the situation.
I can figure that out later, I think, is the thing.
Can Umbra hear the drone at all?
So the drone's not necessarily approaching where Umbra is. It's like watching the only way Umbra could come.
Cool.
And like when you revert back and like kind of like look through your own eyes, you see Sierra's kind of watching it, seeming to like scan a little bit, and then she like sets it down, and like while she's watching it, reaches around in her pack, and you see her pull out some devices, and then she like shoulders them under one arm, looks at the controller for a little bit longer, and then doesn't call the drone back, but does walk away from the controller.
Cool.
As she moves to start planting these devices, which you, as a trapper, can understand are some kind of trap. She is setting up some traps along the entrance to this area, and she sets them up pretty swiftly. But for a little while, she's no longer watching the monitor from the stealth drone.
All right, and as she looks away, I'm going to try and make some progress. But if the drone notices any movement, is it going to alert her? Do I have that kind of technical knowledge?
You can roll technology and see.
Sure. All right. Well,
you watched her set it up. If there was something that you could glean, that would have been the time. So you can definitely roll technology.
Sure. right, I'm going to spend 2 grit to play to the gallery.
Hmm.
It's still only 1 success, but it is 1 success.
Okay. You know that doing something like that would require a little bit of extra programming for it to like, because like for one thing, if you set it just to sense movement, right, like any random animal would be like blam 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 like so if she was to like set some kind of like alert parameters in, it would take a little bit of doing. So if something like that exists, she would have had to have done it before she turned this thing on, because she didn't do it after she turned it on.
All right. Well, as she sets up the traps, then I'm going to try and bring Umbra closer.
Okay, like just like galloping, or is Umbra gonna like try and like shuffle his way forward?
I think as fast as possible, but like in a path that is going to give him hiding spots still.
Okay.
So I don't think it's going to be a straight path.
Cool. Prior to that, Pax, you and Yen are sitting there, and he goes, Pax, I gotta say, I'm surprised to find you still running with these two.
I mean, we talked about this.
I know. I mean, I'm just surprised is all. I mean, I suppose, trying to, go straight, do something legitimate, run a saloon. I mean, when I was asking around, I heard good things about Umbras. So, that makes a little bit of sense. I suppose Roland's good with the money. Kinsey's good at something. Maybe guarding the place, but that, I figure, is what they have you for.
He's actually a really good cook.
Huh. That makes sense.
I don't really know what to say.
I mean, I don't mean to cast judgment or nothing. I just, I guess this is a way of me stumbling and fumbling to saying, I'm happy that you're doing well. All three of you, honestly, making a way of it. I mean, family business.
That's brand new. That just happened.
I mean, I imagine there's no shortage of people in Tobias Station who run a perfectly legitimate business, but still got to deal with the family on the regular. So I guess things have been good, and that's good. I'm glad. It's nice to see that I mean, when I met y'all, you were in shackles being carted away. It's nice to see that that you're doing something with a second chance.
How are you?
Oh, well, and then Umbra starts moving. Okay. Well, I guess we're moving again. Umbra starts moving fast, but darting a little bit, as if he's trying to hide from something, as if he's not just running straight now. Now he's running and stopping, and then kind of hugging the walls and jumping over things that he could have run around, that kind of thing. So his movements are just a little bit more erratic, a little bit more strategic than just bolting for something.
So the place that we're supposed to go, it's like a canyon with trees in it, or
it's more like, I mean, it doesn't really have trees in it. No, it's got tons of rocky terrain and some shrubs for sure. Tall trees though, probably not. This place is pretty arid.
Sure.
But like, different types of like desert plants and stuff for sure are like rim the like tops of these areas.
Okay. So the next, like, when we get pretty close before we end up going into like the only way to get in, um, I w- um, I would like to like jump off.
Okay, you got a little ways before you get there.
Yeah. Okay.
Kinsey, you see her like set up the devices, and then she stands back up, glances over to you, like furrows her brow, looks at like you watching what she's doing and like setting up like stuff, and she goes, "What?"
What do you mean?
Look, if it's any consolation, I'll make it quick for your friends. And then you'll be done soon. Won't take much longer.
I'm sorry, that's you trying to console me?
I don't really care one way or the other. But you look like you're still thinking about putting up a fight, and I just want you to know that that's not necessary. It'll
Well,
all
I
be over
appreciate your advice in the matter.
soon. Soon enough, your friends will come riding down that way, and I'll be waiting for them. And she walks back over, looks at the terminal. At that moment, Umber like dashes into a hiding spot. You don't have to roll for it because you were like are aware that she's like getting ready to look. So like Umber is able to like make a hiding spot because you've given him that command. And she glances at it and she goes, "They do like you, right? I don't know why they would, but I figured they did."
You've got enough traps and weaponry. I'm sure you are prepared for whatever outcome.
Well, I suppose I could just kill you now and then go pick them off one after another. I mean, I imagine they'll hightail it. It might take a little longer. I was hoping to get you all three at once.
That would be easier, wouldn't it?
It sure would. And then she like walks over, glances at the thing again, doesn't seem to see Umbra coming, and then looks back to talk to you. Meanwhile, Pax, Marshall Yen's like, "All right, I guess we're stopped again." Does it see something? Does it know something we don't? I don't understand what's going on here.
I mean, maybe it can hear something, or he could smell something. I'm not really sure.
All right. He like grabs like the yoke and like puts his hand on his gun, and then Umbra gets to again and starts running. And Sierra looks at you, Kinsey, and goes, "I did want to ask one thing. And I figure it's best asking you because we know that snake Roland would just lie through his teeth. I couldn't trust a word of it."
No, even I can barely trust the things that he says.
Why? Why go through all that trouble? Tear apart the Dead Man's Gang when you could have just ran for it? You ended up looking over your shoulder anyway. It came at you no matter what. What difference did it make whether or not you killed all my friends? You just do it because felt like good sport?
Good sport isn't, it doesn't enter into the equation. We didn't want to look over our shoulders. Our best bet was, well, I suppose the name of the plan kind of explains the entire thing. It was the Mad King's gambit.
She like
It was always going to be a
scoffs.
gambit. It was never a sure thing.
So what? You was just playing some game?
Oh, no. No game, man. It was a survival tactic, if you will. I mean, at this point, we would rather just have you to look over our shoulders for, rather than an entire gang of very capable people.
That worked out well for you, didn't it?
Well, you only have me, don't you? It's a third of the people you're looking for.
For now. Well, I'll leave you down here for a bit. I'll be watching. Assuming your friends come, but if they're not here by sundown, I'll just put you out of your misery and go after them one after another. So you just sit there with your thoughts and think about how well that gambit worked out for you.
Fair enough.
And she walks up, pulls like a rag out of her like pouch and just like wraps it around your head to like obscure your vision.
Come on. When's the last time you washed this?
Use it to pick my teeth every night.
Perfect. Yeah, okay. I can smell that.
Use a rag to pick your teeth? She is the dumbest one in the gang.
Yeah. Roland.
Mm-hmm.
What are you up to now? Now that you're walking out of the Pearl, Benjamin is still there, like he gets alerted like as you walk by. There is a member of the security force there in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think someone whose name you know.
Okay.
But you are able to identify her by her garb as part of the security team. And she is also watching you walk down. And she go, "Is the fella?" Yes, it is. Guest of Mr. Foster.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Oh, you just a couple concerned citizens seeing these.
I'm sorry, my associates simply walked down the street when asked to wait outside, sat politely on a bench. Are you telling me that it is a problem to walk along the streets of Tobias Station?
Well, it's a problem to saunter a posse through the upper crust looking for trouble. Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm sorry, we weren't looking for trouble at all. We were looking to meet with my friend, and of course they waited outside politely.
Yeah, we know those five. Marvin, Earl, Lena. They're trouble. You brought trouble to the upper crust, and, that's...
Oh, I'm sorry. I simply know them as, capable members of the lower levels, and I felt perhaps that I might need protection on my various stops today. There have been bandits in the areas. The stables was attacked just a couple months ago, and I thought these fine folks could protect me on my errands today. I have no knowledge of any criminal activities they might undertake.
Go ahead and roll manipulate.
Woo! Woo! This is my first impression.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I am dressed to impress as I look like I belong here.
Yes.
Great. I have a 15.
I have a 9.
Those explode also. Oh, that one was Jack. Man, I don't need it, but I could spend grit to twist the knife and hit this 16. I have 4 net hits over a 9.
Okay. She, raises an eyebrow and goes, "Sir, if you're in need of protection, it's best for you to go with trusted people, members of the security team. A business owner
Oh,
as yourself
I'm so
pays for
sorry.
such services.
I've never seen a security member down in the lower levels. I wasn't aware they worked with the folks who own businesses and live down there. My mistake. I won't make it again. If there's no problem, I'll be on my way.
No problem at all, sir. And you walk out, and she kind of follows behind you. And they all like get up off the stoop, and they're like, and Marvin goes, "So?"
A very fruitful endeavor. I don't suppose any of the 5 of you know where I can find Severina Acosta.
Do you say that within earshot of the security guard?
What?
Yeah. I'm assuming she's gonna follow me wherever I go next anyways.
They all like look at each other and are like, "Is that a serious question?" No.
I mean, I've been in the station for a while. I've made specific efforts to like learn about the people and the players in the station. I imagine I don't know where her house is, but do I know where like Acosta family territory is?
You probably know at least where there's some Acosta hangars for sure.
Great.
Yeah, like that would be that, like, like what hangars they tend to operate out of. At least a couple of the hangars that they operate out of.
Great. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, I know where some of their associates are, so I suppose we'll head to those hangars.
So you start walking, and the security guard like hangs back for a bit, and then she like pulls out like a radio and like says some stuff into it, and you notice like there's a couple other security guards like that are along the walk that you didn't notice before. And they're like kind of eyeing you, and they're like talking to their radios too, and everyone's like kind of like, seeming a little alarmed as they're like talking and watching you walk through the upper crust. And you open up a door to start heading down towards where the hangars are. And Pax and Kinsey, a little bit of time has passed, and you basically the road kind of clears out. Kinsey, you don't know whether or not she's looked at the terminal now because you are blindfolded. You also can't hear what she's done since. You don't know where she is or anything like that. Would you still have Umbra moving now that you know that there's a decent chance that she sees Umbra's approach, or are you continuing to have Umbra hide?
I think carefully. I don't think that he's any longer galloping towards it, but I think he's not so much sneaking, just trying to make his way from hiding place to hiding place at this point.
Okay, so Umbra does that, going back and forth, hiding spot to hiding spot. Much slower movement now, Pax. Not like agonizingly slow, but like definitely like really, really cautious, like inching forward and hiding, inching forward and hiding, inching forward and hiding, and eventually you are pretty sure you're close to the coordinates. I do believe you're muted.
I know. Okay, so I guess as we're like creeping along, I'll turn to Leonard, and yeah. So I imagine that unless directed otherwise, Umbra's just gonna go straight for Kinsey. I think I can get the drop on her if I go around the top. I think I can get the drop on her.
I mean,
but I don't know. what you...
I've been tracking her for some time. She is skilled. It might not be that easy. She's probably looking to get the drop on us. But I think you're right. I think you hopping off here, she's not expecting to see me riding in on this jackalope. That'll give her a stir at least. And once she reveals where she is, I bet you can take her.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Go on, hop off. Hey, Umbra, he says. And Kinsey, you hear. Just give her a minute to get ahead of us, and then just ride straight in. Don't give her an easy target, eh? He turns to Pax. Was that a yes? It felt like a yes.
It feels like a yes.
And Umbra will like kind of kneel down and let Pax off.
Yen looks to you, nods, and goes, "All right.
Be safe."
Hey, I'm sorry.
Why?
Getting y'all in this position. Just, I had months to catch her. If I had pulled it off ahead of time, you guys could just be bartenders.
Well, I mean, it's bad circumstances, but it's not so bad seeing you again.
They kind of bolsters him a little bit. And
Don't feel too guilty.
he looks like he almost wants to say something, and then he just goes, You should go ahead.
Put up my hood.
And start a sneaking.
Do a sneak.
So Roland approaching Acosta territory. Kinsey bound and blindfolded. Pax creeping forward. We are going to take a quick break. Just a 5-minute break. And then we will be right back. So I got 10:40 on the clock. We'll see you all at 10:45. And we're back. So, Pax, you are trying to sneak your way up towards the area where Kinsey is. I'm not going to make you roll to climb up into like the areas above. You have the skill set. We saw you scale a mountain. So you can easily like climb up to the area above like these like kind of canyon area, this like canyon you're in basically. It's not totally even along the way. There's lots of other like levels of elevation to move through. It's definitely very like rough terrain. It's relatively slow going. Not as slow as it might be for other people though, because you can move at full speed while sneaking, but full speed is slow.
Sure.
But yeah, go ahead and roll a sneak test. I will, because just of the terrain and the fact that it's very bright out and all that goodness, I'm going to put you at a -3. There's plenty of like ways you could do the classic like knock down some pebbles and reveal your position type thing.
Sure. So I do also have silent step.
Okay, so that gives a -2 to anyone trying to hear you.
So probably she won't knock down any pebbles and reveal it.
Or if you do it in a way where no one notices.
All right. I think those are all the sneaking I have. So then after that, it's just my gear, which you said I was at a -3?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I rolled 4 dice. So snake. Add a -3. Add a +2. Okay, I am going to... 3 + 2. I will play to the gallery to count this 13.
Okay. That is useful. You are up against an 11.
Aha! I have 2 net hits.
Okay.
I have an 11 and a 13.
Nice. So yeah, you're sneaking forward, like hugging the ground where you can, using the terrain, trying to inch your way along and look around, trying to see if you can spot where she is, but you don't want to get too close. You're trying just to get yourself in a position where you can move once you know where she is, I assume, unless you want to try and find her.
No, I'm not good at spotting people. I think that my energy is put towards moving as quickly as possible into a place where I can fight her.
Okay.
When she appears. So, I mean, like, I obviously am, like, looking behind me to make sure that she's, like, not there. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Okay.
You are being aware of your surroundings, it turns out. Yeah, so you're kind of getting in position, and after, like, a little bit of time, Leonard Yen is like, all right, Umbra, let's go get him. And he draws out his pistol and like grabs the reins tightly in one hand, and like gives Umbra a little tap with the heel.
And he takes the fuck off.
All right, yeah, Umbra just tears down, and because you have a mental link with Umbra, Umbra is able to leap over the traps that were set.
Yes,
perfect. As he leaps in, you actually see like he comes around the bend. And you see through Umbra's eyes, you like laying tied up, and Umbra's like heart like swells, and like you get this like, there's no words or anything that you get from Umbra, but you get a very clear message that's like, I'm coming, like I'm here, and he tears down that way, and you're able to like send the like kind of message like, you know, watch out for those traps. So like Umbra like quickly spots the traps, leaps up, bounces off of a wall, and soars through the sky, like the sun shining behind, as like Leonard Yen has his gun up and is like at the ready. And he's flying through towards you, Kinsey. And then there's and Leonard Yen gets struck in the chest with an arrow and flies off of Umbra, clattering to the ground. And Umbra slams down and starts working on the ropes on you, Kinsey. Pax, you may roll observe to see where that arrow came from.
All right. Probably won't be able to see it. We're gonna just be hidden from each other forever. Okay.
You were distinctly looking for this. And you can have a +3.
A +3?
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
What, did I give you a bunch of explosions?
Yeah. Just one. Okay.
That is not the best roll I could have rolled. What's your highest?
A 14.
Okay. You don't spot anything.
Shit. Okay, great. That's fine. I will...
You know, like, the general direction the arrow came from. That was easy enough.
All right. Will I hit Kinsey or Leonard or Umbra if I shoot in that direction?
No. It at least came from the the general elevation that you're at. Like, you know that much just by, like, the angle of the shot and the height that Yen was at. Like, it's... And it all, like, the clearing that Kinsey's in, it doesn't really have any hiding spots. So it's somewhere in this rocky terrain that surrounds this, like, this lower level where Kinsey is tied up.
Great. I am going to stand up from where I'm at and take out Miguel's gun, and I'm just gonna pepper the side of the canyon. And like I don't expect to hit her, but I am going to yell out, "Sierra, you coward! Fight someone who can beat the shit out of you!" and then I'll like drop Miguel's gun to the side, just like goosh. Then go, "I've got all the tools of your dead friends. Come and get them."
Are you trying to challenge Sierra Phillips right now?
Oh, shit.
No?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
It's a
We
lowercase
both
c
shoot
challenge.
drop with just shooting range. No, it's just, I'm trying to pull focus.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, you tear, like, Kinsey, the mask comes off of your eyes. Umbra's sitting there like chewing at the ropes, trying to get you free. And you see the glint of Miguel's gun as Pax steps out from our hiding spot and just like bullets like shattering and crushing rock and splintering like stones down into where you are. And then she shouts like out to Sierra and slams the gun down and like pulls back her her jacket to show like Rosa's gun on her hip. She's got like Cho's gun on her, like in her belt, and then she's got Sierra's other bow on her back. She puts her like leg up on like Bo's shield. And you see an arrow fly out at Pax Pax, you don't get to dodge this
What? Oh, okay.
because you don't know where she is.
Okay. Can I deflect it?
No.
Hopefully her emotions make her weak.
They didn't outweigh her cowardice.
I hate to be that guy, but like I did work heavily on these talents, and you don't have to know where they are, only that they are there. Because the talents say it's for when they're unaware of you. I'm just trying to save my friend from being instantly killed.
No, she's unaware that she's there.
Okay.
She's aware that she's there, but she doesn't know she's there.
Okay.
Pax. Sierra reveals her location to you as you are hit with 24 damage, 6 armor piercing.
I'm dead.
Well, I mean, you can take an injury.
Sure. I don't have any toughness.
You have no toughness?
I have no toughness.
Okay.
So
it's a
I
class.
might be.
You might be bleeding to death.
Sure.
It's a class 4 injury.
I don't have the chart in front of me. Does somebody?
Yeah, I have it.
It's an 18.
You are indeed bleeding out. You lose 1 HP every turn until you are dead.
Fucker.
Yeah.
Okay. The arrow whizzes out at you, Pax, and like expertly you manage to like stop it from like hitting you directly in the throat, but it does cross in front of your throat and like cut in, and like blood like starts shooting out. Not like shooting out, but like there's a big gush, and then it just like starts soaking down deeply. You're kind of coughing a little bit. Suddenly speaking is a little hard. And you are bleeding heavily. From this point on, you will start taking 1 hit point damage, but right now you take no damage.
I've got 11 rounds until I am dead. Let's fucking do this.
Roll initiative! Kinsey, roll initiative as well. Your hands get freed at this moment, and both you and Pax see Sierra she's basically like stepped out from between like 2 rocks, like where there's some like thorny shrubs, and that's when she like shot the shot at you, Pax, and you just like spotted it just a second too late to get completely out of the way.
Excellent. Can I jump on Umbra before I roll initiative so I get my +2 from reflex training?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, Umbra's Umbra's untying you. You're climbing onto him. That's fine.
Your gun is also in the holster on Umbra.
Oh, I love that.
I grabbed all of the things.
She grabbed all the things.
It'd be wild if I died right now. Be satisfied.
Oh, come on. Are you fucking kidding me?
Cool. So, Anyone get better than an 11?
No. I was so happy with my 10. Dang it! I hate this bitch. I hate her so much. Ugh.
What about you, Kinsey?
Well, these dice really wanted to play D&D. So with a target of 14, I rolled a 16, 17, 18, and 20.
Oh my lord.
And you don't get a reroll on initiative, right?
No, but you can spend grit.
I think I have to. I will...
And so your target is
Yeah.
at a +2 because Umbra has reflex training.
I'm going to make my own luck 2 times.
Okay.
I don't think you can.
Oh yeah, you rolled 4 dice, so you can only raise it up to.
Oh, I thought you could make your own luck up to 5 times. I misread that.
No,
Okay.
up to a pool
Up
of
to
5.
That would
Right,
be
then once it is, then.
I would make my own luck a lot more if that was the case. Yeah, I got 10 hits.
Great, that one was a 1, so I have an initiative of 5.
Okay. You could, if you had the grit, twist the knife now that it's a successful initiative test.
Wait, is that 2? It is 2. Oh, perfect.
Um,
Great, so...
But that will raise your 5 to a 6, which won't give you an additional turn.
Oh, so there's really no point in doing it.
Yeah, unless you're going to twist the knife twice to push yourself up to 7.
Which I can't do, so I won't do that.
Okay.
Oh, what a terrible roll.
That is sad. That sucks.
These dice hate me. They're all going in jail. all 7 of these brand new dice have epically failed me.
Okay.
Bye.
So as you climb up, Kinsey, Sierra, seeing the blood shoot from Pax's throat, understandably assumes that Pax is dead and knocks an arrow and launches it at you.
I'd like to try and dodge it if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
So you can roll athletics, gymnastics, or because you are on Umbra, you can roll wrangle.
No, my gymnastics is better. So I'm going to roll gymnastics. Oh, but it's dodging, so it's -1. So it is about the same. You know what? I want to roll the Umbra dice again. So I'm going to use Wrangle.
So it's not Umbra who's rolling, it is you rolling your
No, right.
your tenacity.
I mean, Umbra's going to help me.
Yeah.
It's
Custom
narratively
Umbra.
not actually helpful. You. Okay. Alright. Alright, I've got a high of 9.
Okay. You're up against an 11.
Alright, well, how many successes does that take? Oh, wait, I have a reroll. Hold on.
You should do that.
Well, it's another 9, so it didn't help me that much.
All right, 18 damage at 6 armor piercing.
I think it's too early for me to take any kind of damage. So I am going to use my talent Spirit Animal, and I'm going to use Protective Companion so that Umbra can act as a shield for me.
Okay. So Umbra does still need to be an 11. But if Umbra succeeds, Umbra basically rolls deflect. It's a body test.
Right.
So body has an attribute only.
Yes.
And then because Umbra is rolling deflect right now.
Yes.
The benefit being Umbra gets to do this as if he has a shield, which means if he succeeds, he takes no damage.
Perfect.
Whereas if people jump in the way when they don't have a shield, they just get hurt.
No reroll. He does not beat an 11.
Okay. So Umbra gets hit for 18 damage then.
Sure.
As she draws the arrow, you just get a sense of like no from Umbra. As without you giving a command, Umbra rears up and takes the arrow in the shoulder so that you're not hit. And you also feel this extremely fierce fear for Pax from Umbra. As Umbra is like the instinct you get is like, Pax must be dead. I'm not letting her kill Kinsey is like what Umbra's like main focus is right now, which is why Umbra leaps up and like takes the arrow for you.
Ow! Oh, that makes me so upset.
That's her turn. Pax, it's your turn. Take 1 damage to your hit point.
I take a damage. Write that down. I currently have 11 hit points. Wonderful. Cool. So I recently took the talent wall running.
Okay.
I would like to use that now.
Yeah. With your athletic skill and wall running, you are able to just get straight to where she is. You weren't that far from her. I mean, it's like a bit of a like you would have to run around, but you're able to kind of like leap and like parkour your way up. Like you run forward, leap out, blood like soaking your chest as you leap across, grab like a giant like jutting out rock, and then like full lift your whole body up and like launch yourself up and like do like a flip and land in front of her.
Hi.
She is adequately shocked and scared. As like a revenant, you stand there bleeding before her, refusing to die.
Great. Gosh, I don't know how good she is at dodging. Well, let's change that. Blinding shots are hard to dodge.
Science has proven this.
I beat a dragon this way. If I'm going out, I'm gonna blind someone while I'm going out. Great. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a blinding shot at her.
So she's at a -1 to this, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, because blinding shots, that's how they roll.
You are up against a 10.
Oh, sweet super chat. Okay. That gives me 3 net hits. Which puts her at a -3 for all action. I don't think twisting the knife for a -4 is worth it.
Doesn't it give a penalty equal to its power per hit?
Oh yeah.
No. It gives
Yeah.
-2 for each success.
Oh, it's changed recently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, because I beat a dragon with it.
That makes sense. I gave a guy a -21, so that was excessive.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. So that's I guess a -6.
Yep.
Great. And then with my other hand, I would like to take Rosa's gun and shoot.
Okay.
And I would like to bamboozle her 3 more times.
Okay. This puts us in a yeah. We'll get to it. Okay, so that puts her at -9, right?
Yes, a total of -9.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay, what's your highest?
my highest is only a 12.
Okay. My current highest is a 6. How many net successes would that give you?
3. And I can count 3, so 3.
Okay. How many net successes would you have if I did some shenanigans so I could count an 11?
2.
This is Rose's gun? That feels worth it. All right, so I'm going to do some grit shenanigans then. Take a grit, as she's going to go it strong, meaning she gets rid of the blinding stuff, but not the stuff from bamboozle, because you cannot remove the negatives from bamboozle, so she's still at a -3, but no longer at a -9, which does allow me to count this 11. And yeah, you get a grit, and yeah, so she has an 11, and I didn't explode into having a 12, so I couldn't I couldn't continue my grit shenanigans. Here's my 11.
Okay.
So that gives you 2 net successes. So how much damage is that?
So that is do I have? I should actually have checked this ahead of time. I think I might only have. Oh no, I do have hollow point. Great. So it's 16 damage with no piercing.
What do you even need piercing for?
Because if half of this was piercing, she would be dead.
I don't think you could get a gun where half of that much damage is piercing.
Maybe I could. You don't know. There's a magic item out there somewhere.
It's just a harpoon launched from like a ballista.
All right, yeah. You hit her hard. She's like not quite ready for it. You reach and grab and throw a blinding shot into her eyes. It gets her, but then you've done this to her before, actually. You've thrown a blinding shot in and then moved in on her. So, like, she kind of was, like, as soon as, like, it seems like she was ready to fight you. She wasn't ready to fight you after she shot you in the throat, but she was prepared to fight you. So the moment you blind her, she immediately, like, does some fancy footwork to, like, get around you, and it makes you have to swing your shot wide. And you still manage to hit her pretty center mass with Rose's gun. A big, huge whoosh! As the gun lets out a burst of like energy that just like hits her right in the gut, almost point blank. Big old blood shot out of her back, and she stumbles and almost falls off the edge.
I would like to double down.
Okay.
But instead of doing the optimal thing, because I think it's way more fun to do something else, I like with the gun like sort of like loosely held in my hand, and like pulling Bo's shield off of my back, I say, I can do this all day.
And
Except it sounds more like, I could do this all day.
And so you're gonna make it so you take no negatives to additional attacks.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Kinsey, you're up.
I'm very angry So I'm going to take a shot at. Well, so where is she right now? She's
up above you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's up above you. Pax has just hit her with a blinding shot. She's stumbling back from that.
I checked first. Obviously, I checked to make sure that Umbra is okay, and then I'm going to take a shot.
Okay. Umbra seems more or less fine, right? Umbra has no doesn't take negatives when he takes damage, right? He has toughened.
Yes.
So like Umbra's like hurt, but like this is nothing.
I think I don't actually know if this helps or not. I think just so I don't hit it, I take the shaft of the arrow and I break it off, and then unholster my rifle, and I'm going to take a shot.
Sure.
I really like the obviously first I check and make sure that Umbra is fine. And I do not look at all at Marshall yet.
I don't know why he's there. Point. Sorry. Yeah. That and I need that.
All right, Kinsey, you can take 2 grit as I bamboozle you twice.
Wonderful.
That grit can't be used on this shot. It has to be used on your next shot.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yes. Oh! I'm gonna spend 2 grit that I did already have to play to the gallery.
To play to the gallery? To get what?
A 17.
Oh my goodness. So my current highest is a 5, but I might do some grit shenanigans. But it depends. First, did you want to use any grit shenanigans? You know how many net successes you have over a 5.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to actually be very embarrassed and remember that you bamboozled me twice.
I did. That's important.
Yes, it is. It is. So, even with that, though, I don't know how to count this. I feel like I have to... Should I re-roll the entire thing? Because, alright, I hit a 16 and I re-rolled that, and that rolled into a 10.
Okay, so that 10 just never... That explosion never happened.
Right, okay, so I still have a re-roll then.
Yes.
Essentially.
Oh, fine. The 10 was your reroll. Because you could have re-rolled the 16 into the 10. We won't chance fate anymore. You got the 10.
It's awfully kind of you. You're a benevolent god. So that's 2 10s, an 8, and a 5.
Cool. You're gonna get some more grit. I'm gonna go it strong so I can get rid of the negatives from being blind, and that will allow me to count to 14. So you line up the shot. You click back the. This is your rifle, right?
Yes.
You click back the hammer. You take a second before you take the shot, and she's stumbling from being shot by Pax, and through clouded eyes, she sees you getting into position, and she immediately turns to Pax, and when Pax steps forward, she puts Pax in between you and her. So you have to pull your shot at the last second and shoot wide.
I'm sorry. I cannot actually believe that. Okay, so I didn't spend the grit last time, which actually means that technically, how much grit now? I think that's still at the beginning of this. I had 3 because you've given me 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this entire thing, so I can't double down.
Can't say.
You can now.
I can now.
It's Umbra's turn.
Umbra does get to go. But you still can, because basically the like me giving you the 2 grit to bamboozle just means you can't then immediately use that grit to like play to the gallery on that same test. But that test is done.
Same test.
Yeah, that grit's your grit now. But also Umbra does get to go on your turn.
That's fair. Can Umbra get me closer to her?
Yeah, Umbra can jump right up there.
That's great.
We'll say it's a simple action. Umbra is very good at jumping, so there's no roll needed. But it will be a simple action to get that amount of height from like, this position without like running back, and so to get it, it's a quick action just for Umbra to like kind of like hunch down. You hold on, and then you leap up into the air and land there behind her. So she put Pax in between you and her, and then Umbra just leaps over and you land behind her.
Amazing. Yes. So does that mean that Umbra cannot attack?
I think Umbra's attacks are still a quick action.
I believe that's correct. Okay, sure. Yeah, let's do that.
You just can't attack twice now.
Right.
And then the rabbit did a kill.
That's a body test, yes?
Yep.
I can still use my wrangle as a target. Good. It's a high of 12.
Okay. So she has a high of 7.
Good. Good. High of 7, you say? Then in that case, I'm going to twist the knife.
Okay.
Spend 2 of my grit so that I can add an additional success, so that I can at least hit her twice. So that is 6 power with 4 piercing.
Okay.
It's a 20. That's why I couldn't reroll that. Sure.
So sorry, how much damage?
6 with 4 piercing.
Okay.
Sorry, 6 is 3 power, 2 hits, 6 with 4 piercing.
Man, if the piercing matters, her armor is a lot better than I thought it would be.
So yeah, leaps behind. She turns, the like sun kind of getting silhouetted. She sees the form of Umbra, but isn't able to like make out where the attack is coming from. And Umbra manages to like gore her in the leg with one of his antlers and like kind of like spin her up into the air. And she like stumbles, like not quite landing a 3-point landing, as she like falls to the side and then pushes herself up.
And now I'm going to double down.
You have the 4 grit still?
I sure do.
Okay. Even after spending your twist the knife?
Even after spending my twist of knife.
Nice. Do it.
And I'm going to shoot her. Again, this time I'm going to hit her. I don't care what you say.
I mean, she's close to at a -6 from just having had to dodge so many times.
There we are. Okay, alright, sure. Well, that is a high of 5.
Okay. So
Target 16.
She might still have to go in strong to beat that, I think.
Yeah. She will go at strong.
Does that mean I get 3 grit then?
And then you get 1 grit. You only get 1 grit no matter how much I spend.
Yeah, right.
You got 3 the other time because bamboozle is 2 expenditures.
Bamboozle, yes,
Yeah.
of course, yes.
Cool. So, she does manage to avoid the shot again. This time with like just a roll. She's down from Umbra hitting her, and before she can like fully get herself up, you like level the rifle at her, and she hugs her limbs in tight and like rolls to the side.
Damn you, Phillips! Damn you and your bow!
All right. What about Umbra?
Oh, it is. Oh, Umbra goes with me. That's right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. I'd like for Umbra, if Umbra can, to get her in a grapple with his arms.
Okay. Go for it.
Yeah. Umbra goes where I go. I forgot that. Alright, that's a high of 11.
Interesting. How many successes did you roll?
3.
Okay. Okay, she gets hit in a rating 3 grapple as Umbra like moves in on her, and she rolls, and Umbra like slams his antlers into the ground, like kind of pinning her in, and then like puts like some weight on her like with his shoulder as she tries to like scramble away, and she's in a rating 3 grapple trying to get away as this basically jackalope is like pulling her underneath it.
Excellent.
Okay. So it is her turn now.
Mm-hmm.
And she is going to pull back, kind of struggling to like reach her quiver with Umbra like kind of trampling over her. He's gonna yank.
Oh,
Oh no!
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know what his message says, but we've just lost Dan.
It says I'm ready for anything.
Apparently his router restarted. So we're gonna live in this world for a minute where I'm bisected by Pax and Game Master. But the show must go on. We'll continue, I suppose, with this weird graphical error. So she reaches back, struggling to get at her quiver as she's being kind of trampled by Umbra. And she does manage to grab 3 arrows at once, knock all of them, and fire them at Kinsey, Pax, and Umbra.
Shurikenjutsu.
That's still a body test for Umbra, right?
Umbra can use instinct to defend.
Perfect.
It's fun being Kinsey over here. I say, blah, Umbra, blah, blah, blah.
Wow. Oh, come on. have to. You'll have to tell me what her high is.
Right now, her highest is a 9.
With one success, does Umbra completely dodge the attack?
Yep.
That's unfortunate. So and my target was 14, and I rolled 3 15s. 3 of them.
Oh my goodness.
But I also rolled a 12, so the 12 is fine. And then for Kinsey... that's an 11.
Kinsey got an 11?
That's right.
Okay. Pax, what'd you get?
I have a 15.
Okay. So I will have to go at strong then. So that I too can count my 15. Which, you said you had an 11, Kinsey?
Onion, salty
That is
onion.
correct.
And Pax, you had 15?
I did.
Okay, so, and then Umbra got what?
A 12.
Okay, so, none of you take any damage. Instead, 3 blinding shots come out. Kinsey, you take a minus, you and Umbra both take a minus 4.
Okay, sure.
Pax, you take a minus 2.
Okay.
And then also, because this was a cold shot, you feel the weapons you have in your hand fly out of your hands. So Rose's gun gets launched out of your hand as this blinding shot hits it and like pops white like phosphorus light in your eyes and then goes flying somewhere where you can't see it. Pax. Kinsey, your rifle gets like knocked out and flies over your shoulder and like clatters to the ground. Apparently there's an outage. Dan has a full-on outage.
But we could finish initiative.
No, yeah, we're gonna keep going. I just feel very weird being like in this weird little like half box. So the rifle flies over, and both of you end up disarmed and slightly blinded. And then I will use the very, very last of my grit to double down. And she's going to grab 3 more arrows and launch all 3 of those at the 3 of you again.
Okay.
So that means we're at a -5 effectively?
Yes, you are. You and Umbra are.
Right.
Pax is only at a -3.
Okay. That's
Could have been better. So you guys are up against an 8.
Oh.
He's using his phone. Oh.
Live.
I guess there is no outage.
Hey!
Well, no, there is, because, like, I'm also not connected to the internet on Google, apparently. But
Weird.
we're going to not worry about that.
We're gonna ride this high for as long as we can. All right, yeah. So the highest is an 8.
I have a 10 high.
Okay. So you're fine. What about Umbra and Kinsey?
Umbra has a 9 high, but Kinsey has an 8.
Okay. So Kinsey, you are hit once more. This time with an exploding tip arrow.
No, I don't like that.
So you said you had an 8? Okay. So you take 7 damage, all of which is piercing.
Sure. Okay. Why not?
But Umbra does manage to avoid it, which sucks. But this one was also a called shot, Kinsey. So this will knock you off of Umbra.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and roll an athletics test, or athletics or gymnastics test for me, Kinsey.
Gymnastics it is. This is not for dodge, though, right?
No. This is for you tumbling off of Umbra on the edge of a cliff.
I really don't like that sentence at all. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Let's just -3 then. Or is the -4 still in effect as well? It was just to the next test, right?
Oh no!
Correct.
Okay, great.
Oh no, it's not. No, the blinding still happens. Sorry, the blinding matters. It happens until the end of her next turn.
Cool. So, within Spirit Animal, there is a sub-talent wherein we have a healing bond. Mm-hmm. So once per rest, I can touch my animal will regain a number of hit points and focus equal to the higher number between its instinct and body, which would be 10. Before she knocks me off, can I use that?
Sure, yeah.
Perfect. Because I really don't want these minuses. I really don't care for them. So I've used the healing bond. We're back at full hit points again. Just the -4 from the blinding shot. Oh, jeez. Oh, yes, that's what I wanted. Alright, so that's a 9.
Okay, so you get knocked off. You do fly the wrong way, and you're flying off the edge, but you manage to, like, grab on to, like, the edge with one hand, and you're hanging there, just about a foot below the ledge, hanging on by one hand.
Excellent.
And that's the end of her double down. Pax, at the beginning of your turn, you see Kinsey tumble off, and you're not 100% sure he caught, but it looked like maybe he was going to. She's struggling against Umbra. Rose's gun has been knocked off from out of one of your hands. You got spots. You're kind of blinking. Like you knew it was a blinding shot, so you were able to kind of avoid it, but it's still like kind of blocking your vision. And then from below, you hear Marshal Yen yell out, "Pax!" And he tosses you a gun.
I catch it.
Okay, and then swing it to fire on Sierra.
Yes.
Roll.
What is this gun? Okay. I have to change dice because I have to kill her with the same dice that I killed the rest of the gang. Where is it? There it is. Okay, dice. You know what I want. Okay. I'm still at a -2, right?
Yep.
How much reliability does this gun have?
It has 3 reliability.
It has 3 reliability? What is this gun?
Wow.
Oh my god, at least I got to use it before I died. Alright, come on, gun. Okay, well. Oh wait. At a -2. It doesn't have ergonomics, right?
Oh yeah, you get a +1 to fire this gun.
Great. I'm gonna kill her so badly. La la la. Okay, here we go. Okay. I'm hesitant to use my grit because it will keep me alive, but I am going to use 2 grit to play to the gallery.
Okay. You are up against an 8.
Oh. Okay. Well, I shouldn't have played.
No, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Okay, I don't then, because that is it's probably past its accuracy.
I don't know. How many net successes did you get?
Over an 8.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no need to play to the gallery. Yeah, so you instinctively you see like the glint of this gun as it flies out. You catch it, spin around, and then fire. Umbra pulls back just in time, and this shot comes out. The kick almost throws you back, Pax, as a big giant hole like bursts out in her chest as you fire at her with this hard caliber seeming pistol. And you kind of look at it, the barrel smoking, and you recognize the very same gun that you killed Rosa Valantes with. The beautifully inlaid design that is in fact a hidden map. The sandalwood grip, the beautiful weight of it, this marvel of technology, this weapon and map together in one. You hold it in your hand again, and you look over, and Marshall Yan has opened a compartment on his mechanical arm where he was hiding this gun.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
And that's where we're gonna end the session.
Oh no, I'm in the
That's
process
so
of
rad.
dying. How is this possible?
Yeah, you are still taking 1 hit point damage every time, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, I actively have 10 hit points and 4 grit. So that's how many lives I have left.
Great. Okay, so we went extra late tonight, but I just had to get to that moment. We had some technical difficulties too, some delays as well. But we also got a significant amount of questions in the Twitch chat, and even though this says I'm Pax, I'm going to make the decision as the game master to answer these questions because I really want to. So we're gonna move our way through these questions, and then we will call it an evening. If you have any questions in the chat, now would be the time to throw them in. We won't dilly-dally as much to give you time after we're done with the Discord questions. All right, so first question, we have a series of questions from Dawn13. First question comes, says, I showed the quick start guide to a friend who believes the dice system is a bit too complex. So Dawn is asking for... I'm split in half again. Dawn is asking for a friend. Why the current system for the dice rolling? Apparently, Dawn's friend suggested perhaps a system where that adds a number of dice based on your skill modifier. So if your skill is a certain high, if your skill is high enough, then that gives you extra dice instead of you having to calculate a dice pool and then choose skills. I think is how I'm interpreting this question. Basically saying why not roll 5 dice when you have 12 in a skill or 7 or whatever. My main, I was thinking about this because one thing that definitely does intimidate a lot of people about Manifest as we introduce it to them is the new and different dice mechanic. There's definitely a ton of games that it can be related to that have similar things where you collect a dice pool and you're rolling for a target equal to or under or anything like that. But in general, it does get a little bit of a stutter step when people are a little uncertain, oh, that sounds like it might be complicated. It ends up being really intuitive at the table. We've found, which is nice. But my answer to the question, and it looks like Addie, you might have some thoughts as well. My answer to the question would be customization. One of the main things with Manifest was allowing people to make unique characters that Like they can really like if they really want to get into it, they can like super tweak and like optimize like the skills and the stats to like get the things they want to be good at, or like at the very if not, then they can just like have a good stat and roll a bunch of dice at a thing and have a decent chance. There's also like weird little like it allows like for little like strategical things like I made a character who was really bad at muscle and finesse, who couldn't really dodge super well, only rolled like 2 dice without a reroll, but I gave him a really, really high like athletics skill, because all you need to do to defend is roll higher than the other person wants, right? So in those instances where having the 1 net success is worth it, like I wanted to make that person really talkative, really smart, and really good at driving. I didn't want them to be good in a fight, but I also didn't want them just to die as soon as someone shot at them. So I wanted to give myself a fighting chance. So I had 2 dice with like a 13 in athletics, and that way I could hopefully roll higher than a person on my 2 dice, or maybe use some make my own luck to get there. And that was a customization that was allotted to me based on that system. But Addie, what are your thoughts?
I think that it is pretty tough for me to answer this question without sounding like a jerk elitist RPG player.
Oh no! Do you not want to answer the question?
But now that you've kind of put me not on the spot, but asked me my opinion. There are a lot of games out there that require you to only roll like 1 die at any given time. Or like have your attributes and your skills tied together. When and those games are really fun. I enjoy them. But the thing that about Manifest that is really nice is what Tommy is talking about, where like you can make the decision to be like have an attribute that you are not good at, because like there's for example, Pax is like extremely bad at nature, but part of nature, like the tenacity attribute, is discipline, and as you know, she is like pretty disciplined, and so instead of having to forcing my character into knowing a ton about survival and wrangling animals, which she's urban and just has never had the opportunity to know, I was able to spend my points elsewhere, but still have her be a very disciplined character. And I think that that's what I really enjoy, like fleshing out characters and deciding when and where they're good at a thing, instead of kind of having those skills innately tied to like the attribute.
I think actually there's a pretty decent point in the sense that it makes a lot of sense why this is a point of contention with your friend, because the character creation rules aren't out yet, right? And those won't come out until the core book is released, and the character creation rules, like these kind of decisions that you can make it make a lot it really lays it out. Like you can be like, oh, I can invest my points here, invest my points there, because we're talking about like, oh, well, I want to spend my points in being really good at this, and like that doesn't really mean anything to anyone because no one knows how many points you have to spend or anything like that. So I think there's a decent chance that once the full rules come out, your friend will actually see the benefit of the like the way that the dice pools are generated and the skills are worked in, because you have a certain number of points to put in certain places, and with them being 2 separate things instead of one thing that you invest points into, and you have separate pools of points to like spend in when you're making your character, like it makes it so you can make all sorts of really cool characters, and you're not like pigeonholed into being good at any one specific thing just based on whatever history and path you chose. But moving on. The other question, another question from Don13 is, how many forms can a Wrangler take? Both pre-generated characters deal well with mounts. Are mounts the primary focus for Wranglers, or are there some that are like, say, axe handle hound trainers or falconers? Yes, 1,000 times yes. In fact, actually, when we first started making like the talents that cater to the Wrangler, I didn't mean for it to necessarily, like, those talents weren't specifically meant for Wrangler. Anyone can take those talents. Anyone with that talent tree can, like, have an animal companion and stuff like that. So you don't actually have to be a Wrangler just to have that. You could be Pax could, if Pax had the metal talent tree, she could go in and have, like, a cool, like, animal companion. When I made those talents, I actually didn't expect so many people used them for mounts. Like, they made their mount their animal companion. They made their mount, like, the like animal they bonded with and, like, you know, had a companionship with. And I was surprised that I was surprised by that, because it's so intrinsic to the Western, like, genre, right? Like, the person's, like, horse being that, like, important to them, the person's mount, their transport is their friend on the road. It makes so much sense. And when I saw, like, a bunch of in our very early playtest, a bunch of people do that, I was like, oh yeah, I guess you could use your mount for that. And so the pre-generated character being the Wrangler, like, leaned more into that. But, like, I've seen characters who have pet copperbirds, like falconers, basically. I've made but not played a character who has an animal companion with an axe handle hound. Actually, it's like a hunting hound for him. So both of those are definitely things that you can very well invest into with those talents. It doesn't have to be a mount, though it can be, which is fine. This is a good one from Don 13. How on earth did Kinsey, of all people, convince Hofstetter of anything in the Lost episode 12? Because Seth, actually, you might not know this. The episode where you run into Hofstetter in the field after you and Pax have a fight. And then, and then you guys convince him that, like, you got away and everyone else died. That episode got lost to time. It didn't actually make it to YouTube. The download didn't actually take from Twitch, so we didn't actually have it in the archives. It was through, I believe, if I recall, extremely careful.
Just, like, basically very carefully not actually telling any lies so that I wouldn't have to roll it.
And you said as much as you absolutely had to without lying until you got him to Roland, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly right.
And then you and Roland together told him the lie. But you were like, everyone's dead, and you just left it at that. And you're like, we barely got out, which was also true. Like, it didn't go well. Like,
right.
And you kept that up just long enough to get. I think maybe some grit might have been involved too. I don't remember if you had to roll something and you did some bamboozling, but I think you managed to dodge the roll and be like, I start walking him back to Roland.
Right. As quickly as possible.
He's Roland's right over here. He'll tell you everything. It was very, very fun to put Kinsey in that position. I do happen to make Kinsey the damsel in distress. You're like the Sam Winchester of this campaign. I just constantly knock you out and tie you up and make you in trouble.
Absolutely.
But who else is going to have a distinctive finger? It could be anyone's finger. Kinsey's finger.
24 hours. Hey.
And then for a final silly question from Dawn 13, how would you guys build Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima? And having seen that question, Dan did send us a
that's what that was.
Send us a message to explain it. I don't know if you guys have it up. I could read it unless someone else wants to.
Oh, I can do it.
Dude, do your best Dan impression.
No. All right. He says, as the only person, to my knowledge, who's played Ghost of Tsushima on the show, Jin is totally a gunslinger who has taken the brawn and subtlety talent trees. And then Manifest is really cool because while it's not strictly supported by the rules, it's extremely easy to run quick draw using swords instead of guns. I don't.
Yeah, the rest is just him saying
he's just like he's not going to get it.
I think my internet is broken forever, he says.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty accurate. And we've talked before about how like it's super easy to be like, if you want to do a samurai showdown, just use quick draw with melee. It works 100%. 100% transferable. Okay. And then question from Argitlam. Oh, yeah, this is the one that I don't know that I can answer super well. Maybe one of you two can. Argalam says it wouldn't be a Q&A without me dropping a character in here to build. The easiest place to find one today was on my shirt. Luca Ashtere from Chrono Trigger. The thing is, I never played Chrono Trigger. Neither of you? Okay.
No.
Luckily, I was prepared for such an occasion. I did do a quick Wikipedia search of Chrono Trigger. To be fair, I didn't actually do it. Someone near me did it and told me what they found. So I'm working with like fourth-hand knowledge. But
That's gonna be great.
But I did get a quick rundown of a person who took a quick glance at it. But my understanding is that she is like a brilliant scientist who maybe does some time travel stuff. And it sounded a lot like a tinkerer to me, which you can definitely get into. I don't know if she crafts a lot of stuff or makes like cool gear for any other characters or anything like that. I think she did make a time machine though, and that sounds like something a tinkerer would work on. Yeah, there's all sorts of talents in the know-how tree that allow you to keep doing it, or allow you to keep investing in tinkering if that's a thing you want to do. Like, it's not super heavy in the quick start guide, because you just need like, there's so many rules that like fall in with the gear and the tinkering that we just didn't want to bog down the quick start guide with. But it's super robust.
It's already over 60 pages.
Yeah, exactly. And so because of that, that's something that's being held till the core rulebook comes out as well. But there's so many know-how talents that you guys haven't had the chance to see, because like you can augment how the tinkering works. You can tinker faster. You can tinker on the fly, like in combat. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff. You can even like super reduce the amount of materials you need to tinker, which makes it like so much easier to make like really hard to make items. It's just nonstop. If you want to make a full-on tinkerer, it's something you can do. And it says, Argalam says in the chat, time travel is the thing of the game. She uses a gun, and she makes a few of them. And grenades and fire attacks are her thing. In the know-how tree, there is a talent that lets you make extra grenades when you make grenades. So she would definitely have that. Yeah, and there's tons of talent. There's being a tinkerer who makes their own guns is like super easy to do in Manifest. I've done it before, so a lot of times tinkerers end up not being super good at shooting just because people want to be like kind of the like sleight of frame, like bookworm, like thinker type tinkerer, but there's nothing that says a gunslinger can't have the know-how tree. And
there's nothing that says the gunslinger or the tinker can't have a know-how tree.
Yeah, or you could be Path of the Tinkerer but still be very good at quick draw and then effectively be a gunslinger, but not bogged down by all those like oaths and mantras and whatnot. Yeah. Cool. So I believe those are all the questions. I'm just going to double check, make sure I didn't actually skip over one. I kind of did a bit of a rush. So looks like we got them all. So thank you all so much thank you for your questions, Don13 and Argitlam. And thank you all for watching, despite me being cut in half. We are glad to have been able to bring the stream to you despite the technical issues. We are going to be back on again the September 15th, Tuesday, September 15th. We will be back, and we'll see if Pax dies, I guess.
Yeah, come watch me die.
Yeah, watch Pax slowly bleed to death out here in the Badlands, I suppose.
Well, I don't think there's a med kit nearby, so it might just happen.
There is a big pack of gear that she had. She had a stealth drone in it. Who knows what else she has in there?
Either that or Roland's gonna ride in on an airplane.
Roland flashbacks to have actually not gone to Sia Costa, just instead of just been like, I actually just get on an airplane and fly over here.
I'm needed by my people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, we'll pick up next week. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy this beautiful music from I guess the player of Roland, Seth Lilly. Goodbye.
Bye.